really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker, what you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess, screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it! Hits it!
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let me tell you how excited I am about this day. I got here extremely, and Romy can attest to this too, I got here extremely early. Normally I sit out in the truck and wait, but I came in to hang out with Romy because we are celebrating what is it? 1979, I think, is going back in Broad Ripple at Connor's Pub today. Tavern tour stop, February ender. Pat's already served me, and it is a Pat. By the way, me and the lady here are ready for two right here. If you Pat served it up, great. But we want to see you. We're in Broad Ripple at Connor's Pub, Tavern Tour Stop as we end the month of February. We have so much going on today, so we're going to have to do a rapid pace. I'll explain in just a second, but I also want to explain who's on the set today. Brent Halverson, Heaven Hill Distillery, per usual, buddy. Good to see you.
Hello, John. Good to be here.
That
Good to be here.
Betting analyst, and look who is betwixt us right here.
Look at that. We're sandwiched here by absolute greatness.
Lindsay Monroe of Channel 13. How many times have you been to Connor's Pub?
Multiple times. Probably at least 10.
That's how I know you're a cool chick.
At least.
You are a cool chick.
And I'm so excited about this, too, because I actually showed up on time. I was early.
You did? You were
I
early.
got here at like 2:50.
Well, that's because you don't have the tag-along with you.
Right.
The Princess of Ice Cream isn't here. You'd be here about 5 or something like that.
She's going to mold some young minds later today.
Yeah,
she
I'm
said
sure
she'd be here for the next one.
That scooping ice cream thing's difficult. So, yeah, you got to go ahead and lay out a couple of hours to teach that. So, hey, Brent, I want to start right here, too. I know Jeff is here. Romy's here, as we mentioned, too. We have stuff to give away. We're in the heart of Broad Ripple at Connor's Pub. What makes this place for so many years so incredibly special?
You know, just the uniqueness of it, right? It's just that good old, we talk tavern tour. That's where we come to great joints, if you will. And this is one of them, man. This is, 45-plus years? And Mr. Romanak has graced himself here for a few of those.
I heard the stories.
Oh yeah, there's apparently a lot of them.
Share some more.
Hopefully we'll get JY on here to talk with us a little bit. But no, this is just a staple in Broad Ripple. You don't see a lot of places that have been around this long, and it just has that feel. Just that feel. Wonderful, wonderful spot.
Anyway, we are being served right
Perfect.
here, too.
Right on time.
All right, guys. We do want to start right here, too. We got the Pacers with a win last night. We'll get to that. Alex Golden set the pace in the 5 o'clock hour. IU with a big win down in Bloomington last night. It was Penn State, and that's a game they should win. But IU can never make anything really easy, although Purdue was kind of easy on Sunday. But last night was not easy. We'll go over that as well. Butler, a loss to top 10 St. John's last night. Butler basically was in it all the way until the end, and then faded away in maybe the final 3 or so minutes. We've got that to talk about, and we have an unfortunate passing. Somebody that's been significant. You're going to say, well, wait a minute, he's an actor. Why is he significant? Gene Hackman played the role of Norman Dale, the head coach of the Hickory Huskers back in 1986 in the film Hoosiers. And Gene Hackman passed away. Just unfortunately, just what sounds like a carbon monoxide situation, I guess it was, in his home right in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He and his wife and his dog, we learned that overnight. And some of the better stories of the filming of Hoosiers and of working with Gene Hackman on this show before has been director David Anspaugh, who I will tell you is a big-time listener to the station and to the show. David Anspaugh also directed Rudy, a film called Fresh Horses, if anybody remembers that, with Molly Ringwald and Andrew McCarthy back in the late 80s. And I think there was a film called Moonlight and Valentino in the 90s, and that was one of the few John Bon Jovi films that he acted in. But David Anspaugh has done that. He's done a lot of stuff in the 80s, Hill Street Blues, Miami Vice, other episodic shows that we know. David Anspaugh is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour to discuss his time with Gene Hackman and just how legendary Gene Hackman has been to acting and the significance he certainly has on this area.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's sad. It's a very, very sad news because he's a great actor, great guy, right? I'm actually anxious to hear some of the stories as well. I mean, what you just told me right there.
Because he was crotchety.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was a crotchety dude. Between he and Barbara Hershey, there was stuff going on that set back in '86.
It had to be just a blast of a set, too, right? I mean, that was just good stuff. So, no, anxious to kind of hear that. Again, sad day. Lose a great like Mr. Hackman, so.
We got that. Yeah. We got the NFL Combine going on, too. We got Lindsay Monroe right here. How are things going at Channel 13 for you?
Oh, so good. And, as we roll into this next week or so, we're excited to see everyone in town and covering the NFL Combine. We're going to have a big show coming up this weekend. We're going to be out there. I might run a 40-yard dash.
What's his nuts name, the sports guy? Took over for Dave? Dominic. I saw him down there on Tuesday.
He's camped out there, and
my
producer comes to me, and they're like, we're thinking about having you and Matthew Fultz, who is like an actual athlete, run the 40-yard dash. I'm like, that's extremely unfair. He's definitely going to beat me, but,
Matthew Fultz wants to come out to this show. Is that correct? Has he asked about coming out before? So, I mean, you had mentioned that maybe he wanted to come out one of these days.
That'd be fun.
You know, Rich Eisen, he runs it every year. He runs the 40-yard dash every year. I'm kind of anxious to see how that timing has gone for the last 20 years and see what he's doing now, because that'd be a tough number to kind of beat each year getting older.
I was down there on Tuesday. Chris Ballard met with the media. Shane Steichen met with the media. I had Lou Anarumo, the new defensive coordinator, on with me. But it's kind of the same thing over and over. For this show, it doesn't do me much good to be there because everybody is leaving by this time of the afternoon. So I'd much rather, obviously, be here than any place else. And you always get a little bit of conversation, but everybody is so guarded about what they're doing. Now, one of the big things, Brent, there'll be a lot of rules changes of significance here with the way that you view the first down marker, with some overtime stuff happening as well. So there's going to be some newness, some new stuff we'll see coming up next year.
You know, it's always interesting. Each year you get kind of that new push, right? That new plug on what everybody's wanting to see out there. And I think the Packers are even against the whole tush push thing. I'm like, why? Everybody can do it, But it's always interesting to see, and it's definitely going to come into play when we start talking 2025 football and some new changes.
So, Pacers last night, IU. I know you're a big IU fan. Were you excited?
Yeah,
Did you go to the game last night?
Josh was down there, but 8:30, I could not see
it.
Yeah,
we should talk because Lindsay and I were both at the Purdue IU game on Sunday.
Yeah, that was an easier one to get to at 1:30.
Yeah, it was. On Sunday, much easier than last night. But IU kind of just doing, and I don't know where the bar is set on this thing. I guess relatively low, whatever. But I will say this, IU fans get the opportunity here to be able to change coaches, which basically everybody wants to do, and then maybe make a run at an NCAA tournament. And knowing that with that run, it will not save the gig of Mike Woodson, and you're still going to get somebody different. So it's almost like win-win for IU fans right now.
Yeah, I think so. And the fact that at one point in the season, we were questioning if we were even going to make it into the Big Ten tournament.
Yes.
That's like, what? So getting that spot secured, and then, I think there's just kind of this reinvented energy that's kind of making the fan base really excited as well.
Pacers last night, a winner over the Raptors. They get the Heat coming up tomorrow night. That's an 8 o'clock start. Tom's Watch Bar downtown, by the way, for me before that coming up. So 3 of 4 in their 4-game homestand. That was good. That's what was necessary. If you're going to lose one, losing to Denver on Monday night is not bad. It took them a little bit last night, but they got things into gear. No doubt about that. So that part was good. NFL Combine-wise, Brent, I know you're a Packer guy. I know you follow the NFL. Anything strike you outside of what Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport having a fight inside a Starbucks downtown? That's pretty interesting.
That is.
Or at least kind of verbally. It's funny. There's no fight. There's just like a verbal, like one guy says you're a jackass or something like that, and then you're verbally accosted.
Yeah, I've not even heard that, to be honest with you.
I get called the jackass every day, so I get verbally accosted every day. But that is one of the bigger stories going on down there.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm just, it's great that Indianapolis gets to host such an event, right? You get all these guys coming in town, and you get to hear a lot of, speaking of stories, you get to hear a lot of good stories about some of these coaches being out in the nightlife a little bit after hours. And
you do.
over the years, it's been a fun time to listen to see who's coming in and what's going on. But no, very exciting stuff. And again, I think with changes going on, there's a lot of free agents out there, a lot of guys looking to find some new homes, big quarterback positions, big dollar contracts being talked about. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, and that's why football really is a kind of a 12-month sport, right? I mean, it's happening right now. They have, and unfortunately, we've got to wait like 6.5 months to actually watch a game. But now it's all the kind of the build up here to the draft, which is in Green Bay, Wisconsin this year.
It is, and I asked Chris Gall, who runs things for the Convention Center and the Visitors Bureau. They're trying to get the draft here in Indy, so
that'd be great.
We would crush it.
Oh, absolutely.
Logically, the next step right there. So they're doing the draft coming up this spring at Lambeau.
And Lambeau, yeah, absolutely. It's I think we're going to try to get up there for it. I mean, it's just kind of it's something It's a reason to go, right? I mean, Green Bay is just a really special place. So I think it'll be fun. It's going to be just a tremendous support that the Green Bay, Wisconsin fans will come out in large. So looking forward to that. Hopefully get up there. We should actually get up there, sneak and do a show maybe somehow.
Why don't we do that?
Can we do that?
Yes.
Well, let's plant some seeds on that one.
Can you do that too?
Absolutely. I'll make it.
So a couple of things. Speaking of planting seeds, we'll get back to everything you guys want to hear in just a second. But St. Patrick's Day has been a staple in the past. Are you going to be on vacation St. Patrick's Day?
We are. That is over the spring break. So
my liver is going, what the F?
Yeah, I know. And that's the start of the tournament. All kinds of stuff going on, right? So, that is.
We go back to the COVID year. Let's go back to the COVID year remember when we were all getting shots, a lot of us. So I got vaccinated that day. And then we had a tavern.
I remember that, yeah.
We had, what was that, downtown at O'Reilly's?
O'Reilly's, yeah.
And somebody said, this is a horrible mixture you're doing right here. And I go, man, no, it's okay. And I was absolutely, BK, thank you very much. I was a wreck up from the neck up for about 3 days.
I remember that.
That was a bad combination.
That was a bad combination. That was. But fortunately, we're out of that time, right? But, we're out. Kids they get 2 weeks of spring break.
That was still a great memory, though.
So we're going to sneak out a little bit and go have some fun in the sun somewhere.
That is awesome. So we got that. So we'll maybe try to do something out of market with that. I think would be absolutely fantastic. Lindsay Monroe, Channel 13 is here as well.
You got there?
This is from the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel right here. Brian Kelly and our guy Alex,
That's awesome.
the Brick Shirt House. Doug Bowles is my president. Kevin Lee, by the way, from Fox is going to join us a little bit later on. He's going to be on the broadcast. St. Petersburg is that first race coming up this weekend. Doug Bowles is my president. And I don't know if anybody's going to know this or not outside of me. You think, BK? This is Hooligans down in Bloomington.
Yeah.
Hooligans.
Love it.
If anybody remembers, if you're watching via the AAA Membership Lounge YouTube Live, Hooligans was in Dunkirk Square. Right now, we're uptown, or I should say uptown, I'm sorry, where Upstairs Pub is. Hooligans was the club to the right of it right there. It turned into a BW3, which then transitioned to Buffalo Wild Wings. And maybe a sushi place now. But Hooligans was absolutely an incredible place. Now, I think the problem they had was they let too many 18-year-olds in.
That'll get you in trouble every now and then.
One being me, yes. One being me. Thank you very much. So this is awesome right there. Thank you, Brian Kelly, the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel, with all those great T-shirts. So, Lindsay, tell me what's up in your world at Channel 13 right now, weather-wise or otherwise.
Oh, well, thank goodness that I went to Mexico last week because I don't know how you guys are still here. I mean, it was like 6 degrees.
Where were you at? We were there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Playa del Carmen.
That's where we were.
You were in Playa? Were you at the Hilton?
We were at the Grand Velas Resort.
Oh, okay, so just up the street.
Look at you guys. We're right next to one another down there.
Great minds, get out of here.
And that was good, too, because it was 6 degrees, right?
Oh, my gosh. It was like 86 down there.
It was terrible here.
I tried this like really new, like supposed to be like holistic sunscreen that's supposed to be non-chemical and all this stuff. And poor Josh, I fried him. He was so fried. So I threw that out.
Josh is almost transparent, though.
He is.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for any rays of sunlight.
I got the spray tan, so I think that's what saved me a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially like going from like polar weather to the actual equator. I mean,
well, see, Josh makes Chris Hagan look like Ricardo Montalban.
They're about the same. They are very, very similar.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you tried it. You tried the new holistic stuff in Mexico, where that sun just beats down pretty heavy.
Well, I got sold like on Black Friday, like way back
Okay.
in the day. So I've had this sunscreen just sitting around for a couple months. I'm like, I'm gonna try it.
Not going to pass the
brought it
test.
back up.
No. All
Yeah,
right.
so
I stayed right here with everybody else.
Well, you look good. You got a good glow.
6 degrees.
Yeah, you
I
survived.
do
It's all
have a good glow, don't I? Yeah.
That sun bounces off that snow pretty good.
Hell
Get you a little tan.
right there. All right, Brent Halverson, Lindsay Monroe, JMV. Carl, by the way, our engineer, is celebrating a birthday. Carl,
Happy
how old are
birthday,
you today,
Carl.
buddy.
40.
40.
You're not 40.
Happy 40th.
I'm your age, JMV.
Huh? Are you?
Yeah.
How old am I? I didn't know you were 40, JMV.
Yeah.
Looking great.
Yeah.
55. I'm 55.
Oh.
Are you older than me?
I'm a match. No.
You're a match.
55. You class of 88 right there. Carl, way to go, buddy. Let's get Carl blank camera today, Romy. You're on blank camera detail today, Romy, to get our birthday guy. Now, Carl's worried about his wife hearing it and then ripping him.
Yeah.
I think Faith likes me enough and trusts me enough to
I think
guide
she likes
through
you,
it.
but she doesn't trust you.
She doesn't trust me?
That's what they all say.
I don't get that. I exude trust right here, Carl. I really do. So happy birthday to you, buddy. Carl, our engineer's birthday. James is back at the studio. Pacers a winner last night over the Raptors, doing what they needed to do. You could tell, guys, that was important to the Pacers last night. And Rick Carlisle, my man, seriously, at the start of a quarter, called the timeout in 23 seconds. It was incredible. And I mentioned yesterday how important it was not to jack around and lose a game to a team like that. Now, they had lost 2 straight to the Raptors this season, both on the road. But this is a different Pacer team. And what you have seen so far is what we have talked about on this show. So you literally are ahead of the curve. Here's why. I have told you that the All-Star break was good for everybody to get a big stinking nap, to get a bunch of rest. And only one person, Pascal Siakam, had to participate in All-Star Weekend. You are seeing now the benefits of that, because starting at the top, Tyrese Halliburton is not only orchestrating, not only getting everybody else involved as he normally does, but he is also confident in his own shot-making ability. He looks relaxed, rested, and confident, and that's what makes this Pacer team at the start the best it can be. And you can mix in everything else, right? But that's what makes it the best, and that is what you've seen so far in these 4 games out of the All-Star break. I made excuses yesterday about the Denver game. I probably shouldn't, but I probably did make an excuse here or there about that. But you can tell just how rested and ready to go these guys are. The lovely Sarah is in the house right there.
Aww.
And it starts with Tyrese Halliburton. He's the guy that stirs it. He's the guy that gets everybody else going. But he has to have confidence in his game. That is what a big-time, highly paid NBA guy does. When you get that max out, that is what is expected of you, and you saw that again last night. Pacers, 8 o'clock tomorrow night on the road in Miami. I mentioned Tom's Watch Bar will lead you to that. The lovely Sarah is in the house coming up tomorrow. IU last night, Lindsay and I were talking about that a little bit earlier. We were both at Purdue and IU on Sunday, and the one way you could have truly ruined Sunday's win over Purdue and Bloomington was blowing that game last night. And believe me, it looked like they tried a couple of different times. But Trey Galloway and IU and Ballo looked good in a double-double. Got it done against the team at home you should get it done against.
Oh, number one, did you see him out there just when he would go down there and make a run and really got the momentum back? That was kind of midway through the second half. It was really exciting because it was kind of one of those you look away, they're losing, you look back like, oh, okay, good, we're in good shape. But then it was just kind of neck
I'm
and
gonna
neck
tell
all
you,
the way.
they'll screw up. You know, they'll screw something up big. I mean, you kind of expect
going
it.
ahead or just like
Well,
just in general?
they'll leave. There was one point where Ace Baldwin, the best player, offensive player, certainly on Penn State's team, was left wide ass open. And you go,
right.
This is the recognition that I talk about that these guys, for the most part, don't have, and they didn't have it last night, but they were able to survive it, and they end up getting a win. And really, you stay alive. I mean, all you're going to have to do, you got to go out west, You win in Seattle against Washington. You go to Oregon.
Yep.
And I think you come back against Ohio State, win a game in that tournament. What is it, 15 deep, I think, of the conference tournament this year. And you're going to be in. They do have the opportunity to make the tournament in their hands. It's just when they've had that opportunity in recent history, they've blown it.
And then I hate the NIT invites that are always nope, we're not coming. I think you just have to play.
You want to see them go, do you?
Wanna...
I want to see Indiana State go like last year. I was really excited. I didn't know the NIT existed until Indiana State was a part of it. All right, NIT. Woo,
I don't
all right.
want them to go to the NIT, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like whatever opportunity gets presented to them, I
Yeah,
want them to take full advantage of.
I would definitely tell you that they would not go to the NIT this year with a transition in coaching.
Nope.
There's no doubt. It is NCAA tournament or bust.
Yep.
All right, Brent, NFL Combine, thoughts on the weekend as well coming up too, and anything that stands out about the Combine for you as our betting analyst?
You know, not really. I mean, I wish I had your access to go in with you and kind of check some on-field items.
Yeah.
But no, not really. I mean, you know, I love getting the updates. I was watching a little bit of McAfee down there doing his thing, which was pretty fun. But he had Halliburton on today, too. I saw it. Didn't get a chance to watch much of it. But no, hey, talking about that IU game, they didn't cover by a point last night, which was a little bit disappointing.
That's what I bet it looks at right there.
I didn't actually play that one. I did bet on Michigan State, though. And did you see that half-court shot to win the game?
Half-court to win it.
That was awesome. They were a 4-point underdog, too.
That goes to show you why, if you have the last shot opportunity, take the last shot.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, take the last shot and not leave it, even if it's half-court open for debate. Maryland did.
Just creates some excitement right there. You know, you get a big shot like that. I mean, that was, again, I was on the betting side of it, so I was pretty happy about that. Nice finish.
All right, that's Brent Halverson, Lindsey Monroe. I'm JMV. We're at the legendary Connors Pub. We are in Broad Ripple today. It's Carl's birthday, our engineer. We are having some cocktails today. You could come and join us. We would love to see you. Let's pack the place here. And Pat makes himself a mean, and I mean a mean, Larceny bourbon and ginger ale right there. So join us for that. Big news also today, the passing of legendary actor Gene Hackman. There's no doubt he is generational as an actor, and certainly around here known because of his role as head coach Norman Dale of the Hickory Huskers in Hoosiers from 1986. The director of that film and of Rudy, David Anspaugh, Brent's going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Very excited. I mean, again, I just hearing some of the little stories we were talking about before the show here. I'm anxious to hear a little more if we get a little bit from him, so that'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah. And I reached out to Chuck Lofton, and he's listening to the show, by the way. So he
I love Chuck Lofton. We do.
He said that he was actually one of the members of the media who got asked to do a private screening of Hoosiers before that was released to the public. And he said he remembered sitting there thinking, please be good. Please don't embarrass us as a state. Please make us Hoosiers. You know, because, you get these big national things cover Indiana, and they try to find the person who, maybe has the least amount of teeth. Just something to embarrass us, And he's just like, please make this be good. And he walked away thinking that might be one of the best sports movies that has ever been made.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We have a lot of people listening right now that either were or know people that were a part of the background, that were extras, because they use so many local extras. And one not too far from here, Bobby Plump, in which the film was based upon in general, too, which is pretty damn awesome, Brent.
Very awesome. And again, hey, great spot to be in, Broad Ripple. I mean, it's a Connors Pub here, 45-plus years. Great spot for a tavern tour, and not a better spot to talk about that right there.
All right, we got Jay Wise going to join us from Connors Pub. Oh, the lovely Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Great to see you. We got Mike Chappell. We've got Alex Golden. We've got Kevin Lee. We've got David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers, the director of Rudy, working with Gene Hackman, and the passing of the legendary actor. I just got a text from him, actually. I think Anspaugh is saying, can we talk tomorrow? I got hit with something. We can't talk. Oh, no. He's asking if we can talk tomorrow. So we may have to move that back to tomorrow. Maybe us coming up next segment. I'll tell you what, I'll find out coming up on the other side right there. But seriously, hopefully David can join us. If not, we will move it back to tomorrow. I will leave it up to the director of Hoosiers and the director of Rudy to join us. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Connors Pub. It is a Heaven Hill Distillery Tavern tour stop for February in the heart of Broad Ripple. We're on a Thursday. We would love to see you here. 239-1070 is the number. Email address is jmv at 1075thefan.com. Inside the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
JMV.
Well, first of all, let's be real friendly here, okay? My name is Norm. Secondly, your coaching days are over.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There's Michelle right here. We can tell the party started when Michelle shows up here. Thank you, James, for the Hoosiers re-entries. I will tell you this. I was playing on David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers, on right now. He wanted to move it back to tomorrow, and let's move it back to tomorrow. As it stands right now, David Anspaugh moved back to tomorrow. Tom's watch bar from me tomorrow. And David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers, on the passing of Gene Hackman. That is now moved to tomorrow's show. So, coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, Kevin Lee, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is going to join us. We've got Mike Chappell coming up at 4 o'clock, the NFL Combine conversation. We got Alex Golden of the Pacers. We'll talk Pacers and Raptors from last night. We'll talk about the Pacers and the Heat tomorrow night. And a lot more. Connor's Pub's on location for our Tavern tour. Stop Heaven Hill Distillery. Lindsay Monroe of Channel 13 is with us right now. If you're watching via the AAA Membership Lounge, YouTube Live, say hello to everybody, Linz.
Did you guys get a new camera? Because this is fantastic.
Did we get a new camera?
It's like widescreen.
This is like way high quality.
I'm going to flex in that badass son of a gun right here. If we're not careful.
This
right
looks like
here.
a professional broadcast setup. This is
You
great.
could do that on Channel 13 right now.
Yeah,
couldn't you?
we could do it.
Say hello to Lindsay. That's Brent Holverson, our betting analyst right there. Brent, what do you have to tell everybody out there?
Oh, come on out to Connor's Pub. Again, we talked earlier, 45-plus years. We're going to have JY join us here shortly, which is going to be great. Great stories, great all kinds of stuff that's gone on here. So we'll hopefully get some good, fun stories about that.
Not gone wrong. Gone absolutely right.
Gone
all right.
Gone all
There's a
out.
reason you're here for 45 years, and I'd love to hear what that is. So looking forward to that. Come out and join us. We've got some great complimentary samples, if you will. Try some things
Can
out.
I say it that way? Because people climb on my ass for that all the time.
Well, then I'll just say, come on out and see me, and
Yes.
we'll have some fun. How about that?
It is Cocktail City at Connor's Pub right here. Now, before me, our good friend Jim Romanek, Romy, set me up with these two bottles right here. Explain the two bottles and what they represent greatness-wise here, Brett.
So that is our Larceny Barrel Proof, right? So we come out with 3 times a year. We've got an A, B, and C series. So I'm not even sure what he brought you. This is probably, what do we got here? I can't see, but that's probably the A125. That's
Where's
the
my
newest that just
readers?
came out. So, no, pretty special stuff there. I mean, you got some, some pretty good power on there. 125.1 proof, John. So your 74-pound frame now might get worked up on that if you get a couple of those in
on
you.
my way to 172 right
That's
here, buddy.
outstanding, man.
So give me
is
those
crazy.
32 waist pants. That's what I'm all about.
We're
right
gonna
here.
have to start telling people to get you some smaller T-shirts.
Yeah.
'Cause this is gonna swallow you.
What is this right now?
It's a
Is
large.
It, I think I can go large.
You're
think,
more
right
of a
now.
schmedium
You think
now.
I'm getting medium?
You're in that medium category, I think.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. I can't stop.
That's awesome.
I cannot stop.
That's
Look, I feel good.
outstanding. Yeah, that's it.
People try to make me eat. You guys are eating pizza here right now.
Yeah, sorry.
And I can't. No, it doesn't bother
Their
me.
pizza's really good.
I am all good. See, I'm strategically parked over at Fresh Time, so I'm going to roll in there, grab some cottage cheese, and roll back out. I don't know if anybody's noticed this or not. Hey, by the way, have you noticed the Daisy brand cottage cheese? They're doing like commercials all over TV right now. Sports.
I've seen it. Yeah, the cups.
Yes,
What do they call
all
it?
over sports.
The to-go.
You know
Yeah,
who
the lunch
started
ones.
that?
Daisy cups. That was you.
And there's not a damn soul eating cottage cheese until my dumb ass started talking about it in the summertime.
There's somebody behind a computer somewhere in probably New
Yes.
York going, what the hell's going on in Indiana? We got where Indiana's like hot right now.
What's
The
this
number one
cottage
Daisy cottage cheese
the
category.
pulse of cottage cheese is in Indiana right now. Why is that?
Hey, you've created. Hey, I'm a big cottage cheese fan, man. I had it last night. And I was talking with my good friend Tom Schrefferman. I think you know Tom.
Yeah.
We were out last night, and we both got cottage cheese. So, kind of spurned on a little conversation about yourself and cottage cheese
I have a really
and
funny
tuna
story.
fish.
I have a really funny
Well,
story
tell
about
me all
cottage
about
cheese.
it.
So we were down in Mexico, and they have this like a buffet where you can get your breakfast, and they have cottage cheese, but
Yep.
it said like cottage cheese queso. And I got some. I went back to the table. I said, Josh, look, they have queso in their cottage cheese down here in Mexico. And he's like, you know that queso is just Spanish for cheese, right? And I was like, oh man, I thought it was like a special kind. It tasted a little bit
It's
differently.
not, yeah.
It was cottage queso.
It is cottage queso. You can melt it down.
I'm thinking because we did Daisy dips for a long
Yeah.
time. that sponsorship here. I'm thinking cottage cheese got to jump on the show, right? No?
I would think so. I mean, that's you're spreading that cottage cheese love. You know that word. That
We're
word
all
of
highly
the
proteinated.
gospel. That's right. A lot of protein. A lot of
There
protein.
is no doubt about that. That's Brent Halverson, Lindsey Monroe. We're at the legendary Connors Pub in Broad Ripple. Mike Chappell coming up at the top of the hour. Before we get to Mike, I did want to ask you guys this. So Chris Ballard talks about, recalibrating, if you will. I had Lou Anarumo on, the new defensive coordinator. He likes what he has as far as players, but you know that they want, obviously, better, higher-level players. What do you think happens here this offseason? Do you think that Chris Ballard goes the direction of cutting loose guys? The salary cap is the largest we have ever seen it. We saw that reported earlier today. So are we going to see Chris Ballard get loose in free agency, you think, Brent, unlike we've ever seen it before?
I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of great guys out there. You got to get some big names to surround Anthony Richardson, right? Like, or what is that plan with Richardson moving forward, right? Do you bring in a seasoned veteran to come in here and to kind of help guide him for the next few years? Who knows? I hope there are some big moves because there's some really big names out there that I think the Colts need. So I love hearing the expanded salary cap, right? Because that's going to open up some more doors. So, time will tell. Let's see how things work out.
I think that it's going to dictate terms on what the Colts are doing if Chris does do that. I mean, seriously, you're going into year 9. Try something a little bit different. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. In fact, I think you owe it to people to try to do it a little bit differently. But one thing, Brent, we haven't seen before is them cut loose their players in the fashion that we're kind of talking about, to maybe even elevate up to maybe $60 million in cap space to work with for a team that clearly needs it. And you referenced the whole competition thing, and I said this yesterday. I don't want people to get confused about this. Do they want competition? Yes. But the reason why they want it is because that's what the fan base wants. The fan base expects the competition. There's going to be no competition at quarterback. It's going to be handed to Anthony Richardson, and he's going to sink or swim in year 3, and that's going to be that. And not only is he going to sink or swim, but that's going to sink or swim the head coach and the general manager.
Absolutely. And again, I think he is showing himself now kind of wanting to get back. He's reaching out, trying to figure out what he's got to do to get better. You know, what we saw last year, taking himself out after that one play, that caused a lot of ruckus, if you will, with the fan base.
There was
right?
a lot of angst.
A lot of angst. There you go. A lot of angst. So, I think if they have something that can compete a little bit with him, it's going to make him better. I think he wants that too. I think he needs that kind of I'm not looking for what word, just somebody that's got that experience, right? So experience to show him how to go about it. But again, get a couple big players out there to surround him to help him succeed.
Liz, what do you think?
Yeah. How long do the rookie contracts last? Do you guys
4
tell me
years.
those?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is year 3. He's got this
Right.
year and perhaps even the next year to prove
Right.
himself before we actually
They would have
pay
to
him.
extend him. And
Right.
that's where you're going to pay him big money.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, I don't
so
think so.
I mean, I think when he did get pulled last season, we did see some improvements, and just him almost like rooting the team, like bringing the team together as a true leader would. And I think like having kind of an older player as the backup is helpful, but also like what would it mean to have someone who's actively also trying to compete for a starting
right?
position? I mean,
Absolutely.
that would be just like a completely different scenario, having someone who's trying to get that starting spot versus someone who knows for a fact that they're going to be the number 2, the just in case person.
We all know competition makes you better, right? Because you don't want to lose. I want this to be my spot. I'm going to go out there, and what do I have to do to earn it? I got to go out there and beat this guy out, right? So I completely agree with you. I think that would be a huge, huge thing for the Colts to get somebody with some experience back there. Again, to have if Anthony's not ready to go quite yet, right? But again, it's gonna push him harder to get better. He's gonna learn more. I think that'd be a great way to go.
To me, if you bring in competition, and let's just say, I don't know even how you gauge it in practice, during training camp or whatever. But then that competition beats out your quarterback. This is like the most wasted year of all time. Because you could have gone ahead and decided to rinse out and move forward and then start building for where you are right now instead of kind of soaking in it. So that would be my issue with the entirety of the situation.
Do you think he's a guy, John?
I do not.
No.
Yeah.
So they're right there.
And I just go by evidence. It's not
absolutely.
by extra grind.
Sure.
The evidence shows that he is not and he will not be.
That's why I think having that competition, and again, it's sink or swim or whatever you want to call it, but you get him out there and you get somebody that's got a little bit of, they're just going to show him what to do and how to go after it and how to compete as a professional NFL star.
Yeah.
Well, I think, we're picking 14th, right, in the first round.
Yep.
As I just looked it up. And, we're not going to draft, a top quarterback who's on the. I don't even think this year's class is really impressive overall. So I think even going and talking about the situation. It is what it is. This year. We're just gonna have to make the best.
Really.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have to make the best of it this year. And speaking of our pick, I think one of the primary roles that we're looking at is the tight end position. And there was a media availability today where Penn State's tight end Tyler Warren was on the podium. And there was a huge crowd for this. Dominic Miranda was tweeting about it earlier today. And there is just a lot of people who are very hot on this Tyler Warren. What do you guys think about this tight end?
I think that should be a foregone stinking conclusion. Because you have a quarterback that you don't believe in. And listen, the Colts don't believe in him. They cross their fingers and they hope that he's going to, in year 3, turn into something. So you have tight ends right now that really don't do too much, and then you got a game breaker like that coming out of college. To me, you draft him. You go out there and you hard target this guy and you draft him. And you don't jack around and you think you're smarter than everybody else in the room and you outmaneuver everybody else in the room. That is what we have seen them fall victim to for so many years. You believe you're the smartest person in the room, and in fact, you're not, and your team and the fan base pays the price.
I think he's going to go before the Colts have a chance to pick.
See, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, just move your ass up and get him.
Well, exactly. Go after it, right? Go after it. If you want him, you got to get – and a guy like that, again, we've seen what the tight end position has evolved to over the years, and it's now a spot. That's kind of like the quarterback's security blanket, right? You got that tight end there. Though that's a guy that you need. That's a guy that Anthony Richardson needs. Yeah. So I agree. Go up and get him, or find something in free agency.
You talk about all the time. We got to get so much supporting cast for Anthony Richardson, and then your tight ends are that. Come on, man. That's not going to help your situation. Plus, you have a general manager and a head coach that are tied to the success of the quarterback. This all goes right down the toilet if the quarterback doesn't perform. So why would you not do that? To me, this is not a huge mystery. People are going to turn it into a mystery, and everybody's going to try to outthink everybody else. But my ass, this is one guy. This is one guy that is necessary, the best guy in the draft. That's it. Draft him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find a way.
Go get him. Go get him and show the team, the fans, everybody. You're going after success, right? You're going after to build the team, make it better.
Right, it's Brent Halverson. That's Lindsey Monroe. I'm JMV. Thank you all for joining us. We are at Connor's Pub. Look at Darnell Booker in the house over there, the Secretary of Defense. Man, you're clutching and grabbing. You would foul out in 5 minutes, dude. Let me tell you that right there. Darnell Booker is in the house. That's Lindsay. That's Brent. I'm John. We would love to see you here inside the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. I did want to remind you that David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers, he was scheduled in today. We're going to move him until tomorrow. I'm at Tom's Wash Bar downtown tomorrow. And David had just texted me. I'm going to get David on the show coming up tomorrow to talk about the passing of actor Gene Hackman, who played the role of Norman Dale in the 1986 classic, especially around here, Hoosiers. So David Anspaugh joining us tomorrow. Mike Chappell, top of the hour. Kevin Lee's in St. Pete. He's with Fox. He's going to join us at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. Alex Golden with the Pacers, and JY is here with stories, Brent. Is that what I hear?
We're going to get some stories from JY. We're talking 45 years-ish of
45 years.
A lot of good stuff. I heard he's got some Greencastle stories he's going to bring up.
Oh, really?
Green County. I said Greencastle. Green County. Sorry, Green County.
I was going to think, I don't have any Putnam County stories, but we do have Green County stories.
Green County stories.
Do we know a lot of the same people? Have I drank?
I want to hear some inside info on Dusty May.
Inside info on Dusty May? Man, Dusty May was about as straight as you can be right there. But we did fight all the time in morning pickup games. If you've seen the Big Ten, The Journey with Dusty May, those pickup games that he talks about in the morning, I was a part of that too.
Is that right?
I was a part of that group. It was like a group of 10, and we played with Mark Barnheiser, who was the head coach. He's the head coach at Lafayette. Jeff, his son Brooks Barnheiser, has been the standout at Northwestern, who's injured this year. But he's the one that put together the morning hoops games, and we played 5 days a week, every single morning at Eastern Green, and it was ugly. I'm seriously, ugly stuff.
Man, how many
Cussing,
ACLs were out?
fighting, punches thrown.
Boom.
Wow.
Like illegal action, a lot of other stuff happened at Eastern Green. Just nobody was able to do it because we couldn't find a lawyer down there. Nobody had a law degree, so we couldn't really do it. No, it was awesome, though. Seriously, it was. Quick break. That's Lindsay. That's Brett. I'm John. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Our Tavern tour stop in February right here with Heaven Hill Distillery. This is Connor's Pub, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
V.
The 5 players on the floor function as one single unit. Team, 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 right? No one more important than the other.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Connor's Pub, everybody. Let's celebrate Norman Dale. The role from 1986, Hoosiers, the film. Gene Hackman passes away. Overnight, it was a bummer to wake up and to see that news. The director of Hoosiers, David Anspaugh, was scheduled to join us at 3:30. I pushed him back until tomorrow, either 3:30 or 4. I'm at Tom's Watch Bar downtown, coming up tomorrow. Hey, by the way, number 9 at 239-1070 right now. Cluster Truck. I've got a $25 gift card for you. And I can tell you this, if you're like me, their 7-ounce salmon is 230 calories. Go to work on that 7-ounce salmon and mixed vegetables. You will love it. I promise that. They have a menu more than just the 7-ounce salmon. You will love it. But $25 in a gift card right now. Evan Sherrill and Cluster Truck. Number 9 at 239-1070. That is a winner. 7-ounce salmon, Brent Holverson. 230 calories.
Can't beat it, huh? Can't beat it. That's
Put
cottage
that up
cheese.
in a keto wrap, Lindsay, and you know what?
keto?
You've got some magic. A little bit of magic happening in the wrap.
I like the chicken sandwich. You can take the bun off.
Have you done Cluster Truck before?
Oh, yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah, so when I
Evan
lived
Sherrill
downtown.
would love to hear that, by
A
the way.
lot. Oh, my gosh. Did it all the time when I lived downtown. We'd have it delivered to the station because
Yeah.
it's just a couple blocks away. They used to have one up in Fishers that we used a couple times. So good. Yeah, the chicken sandwich was my favorite. Like when you go down to Metazoa Brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously don't have food there. You're just like, oh, it's on the Cluster Truck.
TheClusterTruck.com. By the way, use the promo code FAN and get $5 off your order. Do that later on tonight. The promo code FAN at ClusterTruck.com. That's Lindsay Monroe of Channel 13. She does weather and soon-to-be sports. Are you going to do some sports for me?
Yeah.
Seriously. Think so, maybe?
Yeah. The morning show.
I have
weekend show.
pitched that. I have pitched that. You do great on sports. They need to utilize you in sports.
I could talk about basically anything. I can do some research.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be perfect for like St. Petersburg this weekend, right? You're a good racing fan. I know it's drag racing, but a racing fan in general. All right, go ahead and talk. I think you're still on. Hey, Carl, what are you doing on your birthday? You just blanking up the broadcaster, Carl, or what? What will happen?
Is this one on? Okay, this one's on.
Yeah, you're good right there.
Yeah, I think he unplugged the wrong one. That's okay.
That's
you can
all
try
right,
this
Carl.
one.
It is Carl's birthday, and we are in a slam-packed right now Connor's Pub in Broad Ripple.
Who opened the barn door? This place just got crazy in the past like 10 minutes.
Because you're here.
It's completely
They
packed.
want to see you. Nobody
my
wants
goodness.
to see me wearing my medium shirts right here. Seriously, do I look like a douche? Because there's like a fine line between losing weight and then dressing like a douche. Am I douchey?
You're wearing the same clothes as you've always worn, though.
Am I really? These are different.
so.
These
Those are new?
They're new.
Oh, well, they fit nice.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So
I think he unplugged you now.
I don't look douchely.
Oh, no, I can hear you. No.
Am I douchely dressed?
I think you should try one of these larges on just to see if they like swallow you or not, to see if it fits. I don't know.
All right. You okay over there, Carl? I'm still on, so I know that.
Yeah, you're
Lindsay's
on.
still on.
All right,
And then
back.
I
I had
took
some
your
sound
old
issues
one.
in my.
I know. I
Well,
took
you-
your old one because mine got unplugged.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, but it
Oh.
sounds fine over here. I
Oh.
think you're closer to the action.
There's a lot of verbiage
so
going on
you're
over
getting
here.
all
so
of
I'm-
the verberation.
Yeah. Yes.
Darnell's
But we're
yip-yapping
back.
over there.
We're back.
To Sarah. So.
Back in action.
Hey, we're at Connor's Pub. Brent, tell
We
them a little
are
bit
at
about
Connor's
the
Pub.
legendary Connor's Pub.
Legendary Connor's Pub, again, 45 plus years. I mean, it's, again, when we talked Tavern Tour, this is something we embarked on 3-4 years ago now. This is what it's all about. Places that are tried and true, been around for many, many years. You don't find a better spot, especially in Broad Ripple. I mean, again, you know, there's been a lot of great things throughout the years here in Broad Ripple. This is one that just stays tall right here. So pretty excited to talk to JY here in a little while. We'll find out some good stories and then some Greene County banter coming
I
back
love
and
Greene
forth.
County banter. I did want to ask you this because the awesome Sierra Holverson plays libero, right?
So she does. Well, now in high school, she's a 6 rotation player. She plays all the way around. In club, she is a defensive specialist.
Is that libero? Is that what that's called?
Well, a libero is a defensive specialist. She does a little bit here and there, but she's really kind of just back there DS right now. So
What sport are we talking about?
volleyball. Volleyball. You never play volleyball?
Well,
I am 5'1.5". I do not play volleyball.
Oh, you'd be
I was
awesome.
a gymnast. I don't know anything about volleyball, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
very
hardcore, you'd be
impressed.
good. So Kylie Murr was on yesterday of the Indy Ignite.
Oh,
And she was
okay.
awesome on the show.
That's awesome, man.
What a
I'd love
great
to watch
girl.
that.
That's cool. It's really cool to see what that is growing into, right? I mean, it was unfortunate. We were on vacation, not unfortunate, but missed the All-Star game that was held here, which was pretty cool. So pretty exciting stuff. I hope that it really sticks, because there's a lot of talk about it. My girls, my wife, everybody went to the opening game, and it was just electric, So hopefully that continues to happen and grow.
They play tonight, Las Vegas Thrill.
Ooh.
Tonight at Fisher's Event Center.
Okay.
I've been looking to
Man.
see. I haven't seen any lines on any of these games yet. I don't know how.
Do they have lines on the volleyball games?
They
have lines on
should.
everything, right?
They have on some of the college when you get to the tournaments. They put lines out there too. So that's pretty exciting. I always like to put a little bet on some stuff to
All right,
have a
have a
little
dog
fun
in the
with.
fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes it a little
Obviously,
bit more
we're rooting
exciting.
for our team, but
That's
it would
right.
be nice to have a little extra.
That's absolutely
involved.
right.
That Fisher's Event Center is crazy.
It is pretty
I mean, they're
awesome.
going to go from a hockey rink to a volleyball stadium. And then
Comedy show
I'm going
for
to
you
a comedy
tomorrow
show
night.
tomorrow, and it's like, oh my gosh.
And then concerts, I mean, it's just-
every night they've
Yeah.
got a huge thing going on.
Who are you going to see tomorrow?
Tom Segura.
I'm Jim Jeffries, the comedian's on with me tomorrow.
And he's at Butler.
Butler, Clues Hall.
Yeah.
You know Jim Jeffries? I do not.
No,
Very well.
I do not. I was asking her about
But he has
Tom,
Scott
who's
Segway
Tom?
or whoever.
He has an accent.
Oh.
Is he Australian? Good day, mate.
He might be.
Yeah.
Good day.
Australian.
Good day.
Yeah. So Jim Jeffries. Hey, tomorrow, Brent and Lindsay rejoin, but I want to give a little bit of love to the Indy Ignite. Because
Absolutely.
they play later on tonight. at the
Exciting that
Fisher's
they're
Event
here in
Center.
town, and hopefully
Kylie Murr was awesome on the show yesterday.
That's cool.
I mean, awesome. And I put pressure on Matt Sleater
yeah.
at Parks Place Pub to get our ass up there for a remote.
they're
That would be
they're a
great.
sponsor, a big sponsor up there.
Well, I think he's even more than a sponsor in that organization right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so. So, yeah. Tell Sleater. I actually tell Nally to tell Sleater because then that's when Sleater reacts, when Nally gets on his ass.
How do you
Nally
get
to get on his ass.
How do you get to be an Ignite player? Do you is it like a draft process, or do they like invite you to come play, or like what's that process?
I tell you what, we'll tell that on the other side
Oh,
here
okay.
because James is telling us to
Yeah,
break
I
right
heard-
here.
I just heard the break.
Lindsay Monroe, Channel 13. Brent Halverson is with us. Our Tavern tour stop. You can tell it is packed in Connor's Pub. I know JY is going to join us. Mike Chappell still to come too. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. Hour 2 straight ahead. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
We're way past big speech time. I want to thank you for the last few months. It's been very special.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
R.I.P. Gene Hackman. David Anspaugh, the director, was going to join us today. He's going to join us on tomorrow's show, the director of Hoosiers right there. James, back in the studio, thank you. It's Carl, our producer, engineer, I should say, his birthday today. Brent Halverson is here. Lindsay Monroe is here, Channel 13.
Hello.
What is this picture you just showed me right there? Can you explain to the folks out there?
Well, this was when we were down in Mexico.
Because if I say something like that, people are going to call me creepy.
Here's the thing.
Hey, creeper.
So we went with other couples on this trip, and I don't own anything like what I'm wearing in this picture.
Well, that looks like lingerie to me.
That was a dress that my a couple of ours, the gal, she was wearing that dress, and she said, hey, do you want to switch dresses?
Ask Brent if that looks like lingerie.
I said, okay, why not? We're in Mexico. So we switched dresses, and she's about 2 sizes smaller than I am. And so that's just that's what that is not. It's
Carl,
just a nice dress.
Your room looks like a bar.
Hey, Carl's gonna foob on the broadcast right here and get up. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you stayed in the bar, huh? That's a nice evening.
What bar do we attend where you can't get in lingerie?
I did not post that picture online.
Did they have
look what you've done. I was showing you the drink that we were sharing. It was a nice cocktail.
Was there a foam party going on there too?
There was a foam party. Do you want to see the foam party pictures?
Where was this place you were staying?
It was at the Hilton.
The Hilton. Wow.
It was the foam party.
Holy cow!
Look at that.
Wow. That place looks
You stayed
fun.
at the wrong resort.
Yeah, we were
had
all
a much better weekend than I did.
Well, what'd you do this weekend?
Played some songs for 6 hours.
Were you wearing the large?
No. I was shirtless. Hey,
Oh.
on carb day,
You were skins,
That's
huh?
the whole the focus is being shirtless on carb day. There's going to be no shirt. No shirt.
I
on
will be
carb
wearing.
day.
I might be wearing a dress. Does that count?
Like lingerie dress?
Yeah. See, I'm going to get tagged with being creepy because of all of this.
I should have never showed you that picture.
The creeper.
Hey, you look great. Looked awesome. Looked wonderful.
I was just showing him that I wasn't a lightweight. I could keep up with the boys because I ordered this really fun drink.
Nah.
What was the drink, by the way? I didn't.
It was a margarita that had 2 inverted beers.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Salt on the
I
rim.
like the inversion. called
2
it.
straws.
Whoa.
Here's the big reason why we all love Lindsay. Is because she can hang with the dudes.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's it.
She
Yeah.
can hang with the dudes.
Well, I just don't put up with crap.
You don't put up with crap, but
I
you
spit
also
it right back.
You can also drink it. You drink. I mean,
I lift weights.
yes, you hang with the dudes. And we like that.
I
Talk
do
sports.
chest presses.
Yes.
I love sports betting.
Yeah. Look at that.
See, look at that. That's
See?
Brent Halverson right there. Lindsay Monroe, Channel 13. We're at Connor's Pub. Brent, why?
We are here because this is an iconic place, like we said, 45 plus years. And there's not a better spot. I mean, if you've lived in Indianapolis or Indy area, or you've ever been to Broad Ripple, you've been to Connor's Pub. And this is one of those places that you come out for the great people, the great staff here. Always make great cocktails, and that's why we're sitting here staring at. Look at that beautiful Heaven Hill selection up there, John.
That's
Beautiful.
a ton. Right
All
there,
kinds
man.
of good stuff up there, but they had a little bit of something for everybody. The food's great. I know you're not eating the pizza like I did, but
I
the
am not.
pizza's the bomb. I tell you that. It's a really good pizza. But yeah, great spot. We got Jay Wagon to join us here, and we'll hear a couple good stories, hopefully. I'm hoping to kind of poke the bear a little bit and see what we can find out.
Do some NFL conversation right now? What do you think?
Yeah.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Let me just say that he was walking by on Tuesday and gave me the finger. He joins us now. Hello,
You're
Mike.
number
How
one,
are
huh?
you? Yes, I was number
that
one
was
in
number
Mike's
one.
book from Beach Grove. Go ahead, Mike.
That was a Beach Grove salute, okay?
I thought it was like something for Robin Miller. Maybe
Well,
something
yeah,
like that.
you always got to do that just to remember Robin Miller because he would have said something to interrupt your broadcast.
Yeah, he would have. But you know what, Mike? There's nobody I miss more than that human being right now. Seriously. I think about him so much, and so much he added to the show just by being himself with me, and how fortunate I was that he was cool about coming on the show, either live or on the phone. I cannot tell you how much I miss those times daily.
Well, and when we get closer to May and the race, it'll be stronger because again, that's he embodied the race and it meant so much to him. And he was again. I think it was Mario said he was one of a kind. Thank goodness. But he was a special person in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, he was, and I miss him dearly. Yeah, we get into the racing time of year, like St. Pete's coming up this weekend. That's one thing, but just he was versatile and good through all facets of a sports calendar, and we missed that a great deal. One obviously, Mike. I saw you at the Combine on Tuesday. I can't help but be compelled with thinking that this is going to be such a wasted year if the Colts and Chris Ballard really means what he meant about this whole competition thing. I mean, let's just face it, everybody's tied to one another here. If Anthony Richardson is not the guy, then everybody goes down with the ship right here. The competition thing is just a bunch of lip service to me. What say you?
Well, it tells me that in year 3 they don't know what they have with the fourth pick in the draft, which is by now you need to have known. And the fact that he's played so little because of injuries, and he couldn't focus on his position last off season because he was rehabbing, it just set him back. And this was the guy that needed every bit of experience because we saw, again, as I've mentioned, yes, the injuries are a concern. Yes, they are. I still am more concerned that they had to bench him 2 games last year because he wasn't approaching things the right way. That's hopefully that's something that comes with maturity. But no, you're right. These guys are tied together. It either works or it doesn't. There's no middle ground. I don't know what level of success Richardson has to have this year to where you exercise that 5th-year option and you're tied to him for another year and a lot more money. I don't know. Is it playoffs? Is it 10-7 and you're right there with Houston? I don't know. But the fact that the one thing people need to remember, Chris Ballard didn't mention for the first time Tuesday there would be open competition. He told us that in January when we talked to him. He just said we have to because we can't stamp him as a guy because he's not stayed healthy, the last 2 years. But we'll see what that means by who they bring in. It can't be, in my mind, it can't be a 3rd-round draft pick, a 4th-round draft pick, and have him push. No, it's got to be a guy, and I think Chris even said it's got to be a guy who can compete and challenge on a production basis. It's just like we've talked about, John. This is not the off season to be looking for a quarterback. It just isn't. The draft isn't very thick with quarterbacks, and the Colts wouldn't be in position to get one anyway. But the veteran free agents, you don't know who's out there yet, but the guys who might be out there available, they're not going to pay for Sam Darnold if he's out there. You're talking $40-some million. That's not going to happen. Justin Fields, Derek Carr, I think, is staying where he's at, but there's just, Daniel Jones, everyone that you mentioned, you sort of say, really, but it's got to be somebody. But it just tells you where they're at with their quarterback who needs to be the guy. If he's not, if we're sitting here in October saying, what do we got? What are we doing? When are they going to put, number 2 in? Then it's going to really cause a major reset at the end of the year. But maybe he the light goes on, he stays healthy, and he's what they think what he needs to be. But I'm not real optimistic, and it's obviously you aren't either.
No, I haven't been. So go ahead, Liz.
Well, I think the one thing you can do is supplement. If you're not confident, you've got to put some weapons around your quarterback, obviously, going forward. So with, just looking at this current draft, I mean, we're picking 14th, likely the guy that we want, the tight end. from Penn State's likely going to go ahead. Do you think we should stick with that 14th pick and maybe get someone else for another role that we need, or should we perhaps trade up and try to get a better tight end position?
I'm writing about that today. I just posted it. Fox 59 and CBS 4. We talked to Tyler Warren today, and he's the guy. They didn't get Brock Bowers last year. He went 2 spots ahead. In my mind, with where these guys are, it's win now at some level. It's win now. So if you think that Tyler Warren is that guy after missing Bowers last year, then doggone, you move up to 8, 9, whatever, 7, whatever it takes to get him. I'd hate to be sitting there at 14 and somebody at 12 or 13 takes him, and you think, darn, and then you'll go and get a really good safety or a really good cornerback. But they have to, like you mentioned, they really have to do whatever they can to give him as much help as possible, and then it'll be on the quarterback to not complete 50% of his passes, complete 58% or whatever. But boy, if they really like Tyler Warren and they think that the Jets or the Saints or Frisco want to move up to get him, then give up some draft picks in the future or this year, because you've got to have your guy. It's not going to be a strong free agent tight end group. So, and that room last year just wasn't good enough. So yeah, I'm sort of thinking if they want the guy and they like the guy, then move up and give up some picks and get the guy you really want.
Hey, Mike, why wouldn't you? Because you're done if stuff
That's
doesn't
what I'm
work.
saying.
You know what I mean? You're done. So why would you not trade up? Who gives a fat crap what happens next year or the year after that if you're Ballard or Steichen or even Richardson? What matters is this year. So load up this year. I wouldn't be blanking around with the year after next or the few. We've gone through all this conversation with Chris so many different times, and here's where we are. You're number 9 in this set of circumstances right now. Who gives a damn? Go out and get the guy that best defines your team at the highest level. It's that easy.
I don't disagree, and we'll see. I mean, he's said all the right things so far. More active in free agency, and they need to add in 2 or 3 or 4 players. But yeah, the actions will tell us how serious they are. And like you said, it's got to work this year for these guys. It's got to work with Richardson, and don't worry about losing a 2026 second-round pick or whatever. And then if it works, if it works and things come together, fine. Then you worry about next year. But, I'm not saying give up first-round picks and all that, which you wouldn't have to do anyway. I'm not saying that. But, yeah, do what it takes. If it takes a couple of draft picks to move up to where you're going to get the guy, so you're not settling for somebody else. I agree with you. Don't go crazy. They won't go crazy, which you wouldn't have to do to move from 14 to, 8, 7. But, no, I agree. Don't be sitting there and cussing when somebody takes the guy you wanted, when maybe you could have offered enough to move up to that spot. So, yeah, the Michigan tight end, Loveland, I don't know. Is there much of a gap between he and Warren? I don't know. That's out of my skill set. But if you like the guy this year, go and get him. If you like a free agent that's going to cost you a little bit more than you normally like to pay, go and get him. Because if it doesn't work, it's going to be somebody else in those positions next year in all likelihood. So, yeah, again, I'm not saying go, totally crazy, but do deviate from what you've done. And if there's somebody you'll really like, go that extra mile to get him.
Hey, Mike, Brent Holberson here. Hey, we were just talking about, Lindsay and I were looking at, like Colston Loveland. So, there's a lot of stuff there, but there's also the thought that, you got the Broncos, you got the Bengals right after that at pick 17, I believe. They're looking for tight ends too, right? So we need to get, and what you just said, we talked about earlier, trade up and get that guy. Go get him and showcase that you're going to build this team around Anthony. And then if you can get another, we were talking earlier too, I still think they need to get that kind of seasoned vet to kind of help grow Richardson up a little bit more. That's going to be something that you're going to get in free agency. Hopefully, Ballard's going to get pretty active. What do you see free agency looking like?
Yeah, I'm just one of those that believes they've got to sign a veteran corner. I've been saying that for a couple of years. A veteran safety. Louis Anarumo, his defense really features that safety. So I think I just have to believe 3 starters, a weak side linebacker, sort of needs to be free agent acquisitions. And then you've got the backup or quarterback 1A, however you want to frame that.
Right.
But yeah, I totally agree. And what we have to remember is other teams want quarterbacks. So whatever it's going to cost to get a Justin Fields if he's available, or like I say, Sam Darnold's at it, he's too expensive. But those other guys, Daniel Jones, you're going to have to pay. It's not going to be like the $3 or $4 million for a backup. It's going to be a decent contract because people are bidding. But I just think there's too much of a need for a veteran presence at corner, at safety, and again, like I said, at quarterback. Because, and I'm not saying Joe Flacco because he did probably what was expected, but that's not, you can't run that back again. But it's got to be somebody who has played at a good level, and it's going to be a guy with a losing record probably because that's who's out there, and that's why they're out there. And it's got to be somebody who can come in and compete. And then if Richardson wins the job, that guy you bring in's got to be okay with being the number 2 guy. So it's really complicated. And we're going to find out from Chris Ballard's actions on how if he really has deviated from what he's done in the past. I mean, they've been active before. But it's got to be different this year. And he knows that. They talk internally, and I think they know what they want to do. I think for the most part they know who they want to go after. The draft is a little bit different because you don't really know. You're still in that process of layering people where they belong in the draft and who's going to take who. But on the draft, I totally agree with you guys. If this is a guy you like and you're convinced somebody's going to take him at 6, 7, 8, doggone, go and get him, and don't worry about what it costs to get him.
Yeah, it's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Connor's Pub. It is legendary here since 1979 in Broad Ripple. We are on a Tavern tour stop with Heaven Hill Distillery. This is something that occurs to me, and maybe this is just his personality, but Chris Ballard going into year 9 with just this incredible lack of success seems so comfortable in his gig right now. It's incredible because, there are guys that have won Super Bowls that aren't that comfortable, Mike. Is that just me looking at it? Because
yeah,
and I understand if that's the way that you're built, that's the way that you're built. But I don't know if I've ever been around somebody so comfortable in their gig when they've shown such a lack of production in basically a handful of the 9 years we have seen him here.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think he's sitting back, just smoking a cigar and drinking a beer and just enjoying things and knowing he's got, job security. I don't think that's the case. I think he's comfortable with who he is and how he's done things. Although, like you said, it just hasn't gotten things done to the level they need to. That's why I think things need to change in roster building this year, and we'll see. Yeah, I understand how maybe he projects that with how personable he is and how friendly he is, but I don't think he believes he's got, total job security, past this year.
Sure.
I think that's just the perception he emotes as a person. But I think this eats at him really bad that they haven't gotten it done yet, and there's urgency. So again, we'll see how in September, October what that means. But yeah, I don't think he's complacent. I think it eats at him that they've not done more yet.
Except Mike Chappell with us. Final thing with you here. How are they going to handle the elevated salary cap to the level in which we've never seen it here? and the fact that they do have options to create more space. And we know, I think we know. I mean, I was trying to read Lou Anarumo with me the other day, and hell, I don't know. He wants to play pickleball with me. I know that. But I was trying to read that. Are they going to go against the grain? You think Chris goes against the grain and cuts loose some guys where in normal circumstances in the past he didn't or would not have thought about doing? Is that where we're going to tell the difference is going to be made, or at least the early stages of the difference?
I think we'll find out in mid-March when they sort of get things together and have to do things. He gave us a little bit of an update on Braden Smith to where he's doing well and he still wants to play football. That's encouraging. I mean, Braden's personal thing is the most important aspect with Braden Smith. He has to get himself right. They might have looked to alter his contract before all of this came up. The $19 million cap hit. He sounded optimistic about Samson Ebukam coming back this year. And those are two guys, Braden and Ebukam, you can create, $23, $24 million in cap space if you want to do that. So we'll see. Will they extend Bernard Ryman? Will they re-sign Dayo Odiangbo? I don't know. Dayo's that's a tough one. Had a less than stellar year last year after really strong the year before, but he's only like 26. He's 6'6", 260. He's what you want in the position, and he's gonna, if he gets on the market, he's gonna get big money. He's the kind of guy that Chris Ballard goes after from other teams. Young guy who's not yet got there yet, and boy, if you hit on it, you got a great player. But it's really going to be interesting what they do. They've got, again, and they can create quite a bit of cap space by restructuring Quentin Nelson and DeForest Buckner and Jonathan Taylor. Not taking money from them, but rearranging things. So the cap will help them. They're in decent shape. Other teams are in better shape. Some teams are in awful shape. They can pretty much do what they want to do by massaging the cap however they want to do it. And again, some of that's pushing money forward. You got to be careful with that. But at the same time, boy, winning now is important. So I could see them redoing some contracts to create some space to get done what they want to get done.
Hey, thanks for the middle finger on Tuesday, man. I appreciate that. Hey, I will say this. Go ahead.
Whenever I'm driving and listening on the radio to you, I can flash you the bird there too. Just
Chris Ballard asked me if I was going through a midlife crisis.
Did he?
I said, yeah, that comes from the guy wearing the flat-billed hat. Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest with you, Mike. It's one thing to say what we say here and to be critical about the results or lack thereof of this team, but I do like when somebody like that creates a back and forth like that. I do find it pretty cool. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was pretty funny, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And that's what this show is built for, fun like that. So,
in his position, you got to take the good with the bad, and sometimes there's more bad than good. But you got to be able to deal with it. I think he does that about as well as you can.
Yeah. Midlife crisis. I said, yeah, that comes from the guy that probably just lifted 9,000 times and wears a flat-billed hat. Yes, at 55. That's me.
Yeah, I remember midlife crisis about 20 years ago.
I honestly, but the back and forth of the dialogue we've had in the past, that was probably the best right there. And it was really quick, but I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't know he had that type of humor in him, but that was pretty good.
Yep. Hey, one thing. Did you see the back and forth at the Starbucks between a couple of NFL insiders?
Yeah.
Starbucks.
It was the Fox guy, what's his name, Jordan Schultz, and Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, right, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, really. Come on, guys. Can't we all get along?
I mean, all it is just like, hey, you're a blank, and hey, you're a blank, and that was it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know that around here that happens every day. That's how wussified we've all become. Seriously.
Don't bring that crap to our city. We got enough problems.
right.
Hey, Mike, we do this all the time, man. That's just like the Worcestification of the world we're in right here.
I know.
Buddy, I appreciate you. Good to see you the other day. We'll talk again next week.
Talk at you next week. You guys be well.
Mike Chappell, CBS 4 on Fox 59. That's Brent Holverson. That's Lindsey Monroe. Want to take a break?
I do,
right.
but I've got a new word. I'm going to start using Worcestification.
Seriously, we do this all the time. These wussies that go, oh, man, I'm so offended by that.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's what you got to have some fun, man.
You
Life's
do have
about
to have
having
that.
fun.
Absolutely
and
right, John.
sometimes name calling is essential to having fun. Right, Linz?
That's right.
I don't like what some people think of you.
I'm gonna also. Oh, okay. I might use that
I
word.
defend you.
Actually, I've only heard that word used with a P instead of a W.
I know. Well, I do have to kind of balance things here.
Tone it down just a little bit.
bit.
Actually, I like the W version a lot better.
It's Lindsey Monroe, it's Brent Holverson, the legendary Connor's Pub, Kevin Lee, and JY. I see you over there, Darnell. 239-1070. Calls forthcoming. Tickets to give away. Busy show. Thank you all for joining us. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
V.
No team of mine will ever run out of steam before its opponent. There's only 5 players we can't afford to.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is legendary Counters Pub, and R.I.P. to the generational actor Gene Hackman that passed away, he and his family. Last night, as we heard yesterday afternoon, we heard the news late last night. Norman Dale in the 1986 classic Hoosiers. And the director, David Anspaugh, is going to join us on the show tomorrow. We're at Connor's Pub today, Heaven Hill Distillery. We're in Broad Ripple. Thank you for joining us. Brent Halverson, Lindsay Monroe. JY is in the house. Hello, JY.
Hello there.
So who knows Matt Painter? Look at that.
Look at your fan club.
I didn't get one damn
Paul Barron.
one damn clap.
Paul Barron. Knows Matt Painter.
I love Matt Painter, man. We talk often, too. I mean, he is such a good dude. Here's the best thing about Matt Painter is Matt Painter would fit right in here just like anybody else right now. And you can't say that about everybody. You just can't. At that level, you can't.
I agree.
So, all right, so you're going to hang around with us for the rest of the show?
Sure.
You got Greene County stories, Locke?
Greene County, known for superb fishing.
Where do you fish down there?
It's a county line lake.
Like, where's that?
Greene
Duggar?
County.
Is that Duggar?
Outside of Bloomfield.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly where that's the county seat of
Yes,
Greene County,
yes.
Bloomfield right there. I used to go down there and take all the chicks away from the dudes. I got punched in the face at a dance down there once.
Mr. Steal Yo Go.
I think the guy is actually the town marshal right now in Bloomfield that punched me in the face. Sucker punched my ass like you wouldn't believe. Right in the grill.
Did you deserve it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I didn't get
Learned a lesson that
right
day.
in the face, man. I think he's the town marshal now. I think.
So who's the better ball player, A.J. Graves or you?
A.J. Graves was for a moment, but I don't know what A.J. Graves does right now. Like, I think I would probably rule the Graves family because I know Matt doesn't play. I could beat his ass now easy. Indiana State's head coach.
Yes.
But I don't know if A.J.'s played. Now, A.J., is he the cross-country coach?
I'm not sure. I know Matt's the ISU head coach right now, yes.
So I think I feel pretty good about it. I'm pretty confident.
I figure you're up there in Greene County Alumnus Hall of Fame.
Well,
you
I mean,
and the Gray brothers.
Dusty May. You know, if you've seen Big Ten The Journey, all those morning pickup games that Dusty and Mark Barnheiser in that interview talk about, I was a part of that too. So, yeah. It was they were legendary. They were. And I'm surprised the cops were never called, but they weren't. JY, sit tight right there, okay? JY of Connor's Pub, Brent, Lindsay, I'm John. We are so proud of our next guest on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He's a part of the Fox broadcast. It is the new package with Fox, and it starts this weekend down in St. Pete. It is IndyCar racing, and Kevin Lee is going to be in the pits, and he joins us now. Hello, Kev. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, John. How are you?
I'm very proud of you. You know that, don't you?
I stayed on the bus. Survived in advance.
When did you find out you were going to get that pit gig?
Last Monday. So like a week and a half ago, and we came to terms a couple of days ago.
when did I see you in studio? So did you know prior to when you saw me in studio and not tell me, or did you not know at the time?
No. So it made it so a lot of times these things would be done several months before, but the timing of the announcement I always knew was likely going to be the week of the first race, and then you just have to be quiet. So I only had to be quiet for a couple of days. I had to give a no comment to Nathan Brown's Indianapolis Star story on Trackside on Tuesday night because the release didn't come out until last night, but I really didn't know until just over a week ago, and we got it finalized on Monday night. And the reality is, so this is a good thing, the people that are in charge of IndyCar on Fox are the same high-level executives that are in charge of the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500 and all of their big events. And they really needed to get through the Daytona 500, so it's not a coincidence that I got the call the next day. They finished that, they're on to the next thing, and they always kind of knew I was going to be able to get up to speed pretty quickly. And we don't have anyone new to the sport with us. Jack Harvey is standing next to me. He's going to be a pit reporter. Jamie Little, we're borrowing her from NASCAR, but she did IndyCar for many years, so she knows what she's doing. And then Georgia Henneberry, who just had a baby, will be back with us on pit lane coming up starting in May. And Townsend and Hinch are in the booth. And Will Buxton comes over from Formula One, but he's an IndyCar fan and has worked with us on NBC before a few times on IndyCar. So he'll be up to speed. And they've got some really cool things in store that we have not seen on the broadcast in recent years, some of which I've been asking for, but they are expensive and they're investing. So I can't say what they are, but you should watch this weekend. I think fans are going to enjoy it, and it will help common fans with their enjoyment of the sport, I think, and their understanding.
Kevin Lee of Fox IndyCar this weekend down in St. Pete. Kev's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, also the co-host along with Kirk Cavett of Trackside here on the Fan. So are you tight with Eric Shanks?
I've not met Eric Shanks yet. He will be here this weekend, and we have wonderful accommodations because all the executives are coming. So normally we have kind of a trailer and somewhere to hang out.
The Super 8? You guys staying at the Super 8 in Clearwater? Is that where you're staying?
No, I'm saying here at the track we have like a big tricked out double wide with couches and a coffee bar and snacks.
You're sleeping on Eric Shanks' couch is what you're doing right now.
Somewhat. So it's good. So no, I've not met him yet. I'm looking forward to seeing him this weekend. He's a Hoosier.
Yes. Well, let me get a little background here. Again, Lindsay and Brent and JY and JMV at Connor's Pub with Kevin Lee of Fox Sports. And IndyCar gets underway officially.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever been drunk here, Kev?
Never. I've been there. It's been a long time. We spent some good times at Connor's Pub.
Hey, JY, have you ever seen Kevin Lee drunk here?
I've never seen anybody drunk here.
Have you seen Scott Dixon drunk here?
That would be the anybody category.
I was there was the night before
I
my
think
wedding.
JY's seen Scott Dixon drunk here, Kev, I think.
I can't believe that either. That would have never happened. I've never seen it.
No, we should say that Eric Shanks is the president of Fox Sports, and he's from Northview High School in Brazil, Indiana, and he attended IU. So there's a common Hoosier theme, a Hoosier bond right there with you, I would guess, right?
I hope so. Yeah, that's probably what got the deal done. No, but that's why IndyCar is on Fox. It really is because of Eric Shanks. You need to have a champion for your sport. We get it. We're not the NFL. We're not the Big Ten. But there is a lot of growth opportunity with IndyCar, and that's what he sees. Now, the Indy 500 is still a massive property, but what Eric is also interested in, and the Fox executives are interested in, is this race. You know, these promos in the Super Bowl aren't just touting the Indy 500. They are touting March 2nd, St. Petersburg. So they are all in with all 17 races on Fox, plus every practice and qualifying session for IndyCar and Indy Next. I'll be in the booth for Indy Next. That's on either FS1 or FS2. So you don't have to do streaming to find us. You can find us on traditional television.
It's huge.
Go ahead,
Just
Linz.
expanding the audience. So as we go into this IndyCar season, obviously the change is great. Hopefully we can get some more eyeballs on the race. Tell us about some of the storylines that we should be paying attention to as we go into the first race of the season. Obviously, a lot of eyes going to be on Alex Palou coming back as the champion from last season. But is there someone that we should be looking out for? Is there a team that's had a lot of adjustments in the offseason that we should be paying close attention to for this first race?
Good question. Definitely interested in Palou as he goes for 3 in a row. That hasn't been done since Dario Franchitti did that. So that's one. You know, Joseph Newgarden is, yes, he's won the Indy 500 2 years in a row, but last year was a frustrating season. So I think he's in store for a big season. Will Power's in a contract year, and some people think they already have signed up his replacement in a young driver named David Malukas with the A.J. Foyt team to replace him. So Will is saying, I'm not ready to go yet. He's doing his Wolf of Wall Street. You know, I'm not leaving. So I think he wants to show that he can stay. The new team is Prema. That's going to be challenging for them to get up to speed, but they have a lot of talent. Watch Alexander Rossi at the Ed Carpenter team. I'm interested to see how he does there. I think he's going to have a big impact on that team. And
never rule out the Iceman, Scott Dixon.
Oh, Dixon has always got as good of a chance as anybody. And I kind of look at it, and I think you could make a case for at least 7 people that it wouldn't surprise you if they won the championship. Any of the 3 Penske drivers, I'd say Colton Herta, Pato O'Ward has been on the brink, so I think he's there. Certainly Dixon and Palou. Maybe you could say Kirkwood, but it's probably that. I think that's 7. Any one of those I think can realistically win the championship.
And you have the face of Fox, Joseph Newgarden, those commercials with the weights. Woo!
I was thinking this, Kev. I think JY said that because Scott Dixon's initials are carved into this bench I'm sitting on right here. Seriously. So, hey, we're really proud of you, buddy. Go get him. I knew that you were going to get that gig. I knew that you were going to get it. You weren't nervous about that, were you?
I didn't know.
Were you nervous about it?
I had already agreed to something more with NBC, so they have been great about allowing me out of some of the events that I was scheduled for in IMSA. There was a college basketball game this weekend, so I'm still going to do some work with NBC on sports car racing, but they've allowed me to make IndyCar on Fox my priority. So fantastic. I greatly appreciate that.
When you're sleeping on Eric Schenk's couch down in St. Petersburg, make sure – like James, my producers, reached out to him like 3 or 4 times. Can you get his ass on this show? I've been waiting for. I mean, look, you've got a Brazil, Indiana, and a Greene County, Indiana guy. I mean, close proximity. I'm assuming he's played basketball at Clay City, much like I played basketball at Clay City. Can you help get his ass on the show?
Reason. Well, I'm going to guess you have some common friends, and he doesn't really want to associate with you. Would be my best guess. Just guessing.
No. he wants and he needs me right here.
Okay.
He does.
All right.
Yeah. Can you help persuade him to come on the show?
The first thing I do will be to talk about you. Yes.
I'm sure you will. Kev, man, we're really proud of you, buddy, man. Go get him. We can't wait to watch, and we'll stay in touch.
Thanks, John. Enjoy Connors.
You got it. It's Kevin Lee, Fox Sports, IndyCar Racing. They make their debut coming up this weekend. Do they not, JY?
They do.
Right there.
Thrilled.
Scott Dixon in here all the time?
When he's in town.
He's a good dude, man.
Great dude.
He may have the best wife of.
I was going to say, he's got. Ooh.
He may have the best wife of all time.
Well,
I'd love
she
to
is
hang out
because
with her.
he once broke all the tables in here, and she made him come back and weld them all back together the following day. So, yes, she is a great woman.
Oh, that's Emma Dixon, by the way, who is absolutely awesome. All right, JY on the other side, Brent coming up too. Lindsay, I'm John. Cottage Pub, Broad Ripple, thank you for joining us. Heaven Hill Distillery Tavern Tour Stop, February. Quick break, we'll come back with you next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
JMV.
God wants you on the floor.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back, Cottage Pub. We're on Broad Ripple, everybody. Heaven Hill Distillery, Tavern Tour Stop, Lindsay Monroe, Channel 13. Brent Halverson, betting analyst, Heaven Hill Distillery. Hello, everybody. Jay Wise.
Jay.
You got a story for me, buddy?
I got a Scott Dixon story.
Give me a Scott Dixon story.
I'd say about 25 years ago, he was driving for cart.
Right.
And was sober, parked across the street, put his car in the wrong gear, and went through the building across the street. And owner was a little upset, and he told him, explained to him he had the money. He was a race car driver. The guy said,
"It wasn't like lose over here."
Sure you are.
Was it lose?
Right directly across the street.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So
wrong gear and
wrong
right through
gear.
the building.
He was
huh?
sober.
Does
Drove
that
right
happen
through it.
often?
Not too often. Not too often.
So, hey, what's your relationship with Matt Painter, by the way? What was that?
Only through other people.
Oh, okay.
No direct relationship with Matt.
Great guy.
Yes.
Absolute great guy. So you do have a lot of people that come in here that are notable, right?
Mark Cuban, when he's in town, he usually shows up here.
Late night or normal night? Normal time?
Between late night and normal time.
IndyCar drivers, you mentioned Scott Dixon. Who
Ed
else?
Carpenter, great guy.
We love Ed Carpenter.
He's early. He's not a late guy.
I'm trying to think. Ed Carpenter's, he's in St. Petersburg right now, but what's he drink? You like
Doesn't
Shirley
drink very
Temples?
much.
Ed Carpenter reminds me of
Nondescript.
like a Shirley Temples guy.
I
Right?
can see that.
He's not a big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that has very little alcohol and a lot of sweet.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
he's even keel.
He's very even keel. They have Splenda at ECR this year as a sponsor. Splenda. You know, it's funny. Splenda is a locally manufactured product that I don't think anybody would know. Would
I had
they?
no idea.
I had no
man.
idea.
Up on 86th Street, Splenda.
Wow.
Splenda needs to be sponsoring this show. Why aren't they doing that, JY?
I'll make
Can
a
you
call.
ask him?
I'll make a
Make
call.
him-
You have
call. There you
Splenda here too?
Well, yeah.
Starting tomorrow.
A box
Hey,
somewhere.
JY, tell everybody about the menu we got right here, brothers.
Pretty simple. We had nowhere to go as far as food sales. So actually, we're pretty busy at night selling food.
bet.
I got 2 small fryers, pizza oven, a grill.
The
We
pizza.
keep it busy.
all you
The
need.
pizza is outstanding. It really is.
Ribeye
That is-
steak sandwich. When you get guys that come from Giacomo's to eat pizza here after they've been making pizzas all day, it can't be too bad.
That's awesome. So you guys opened in 1979. Is that the right
It
number?
opened
as
in
far as-
1979.
That's
1979.
6 years. I mean, that's awesome.
2 brothers,
So
2
Bird and
brother-in-laws.
Magic played in the championship game, and you guys opened up here. That's incredible.
Exactly. I'm sure that was the thing that ignited it.
Here's the thing you're most noted for, by the way, JY. You're responsible for Romy and the lovely Sarah getting together. Is that correct?
Well, their parents may not be happy with that, but yes, I am the one responsible for that.
You know how lucky Romy is with Sarah? How does this happen? It's like Josh with Lindsay right here. How does this happen?
He won the lottery.
Lottery winner
Won the
right
lottery.
there,
That's
buddy.
what I say.
Yeah.
Josh absolutely won the lottery.
He's a good guy.
He is a good dude.
He cooks for me every night.
Does he really
Yeah.
cook?
Yeah, he's the cook.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a dude probably should.
I
right?
work late at night, as you know.
Yeah, right.
Well, I work early mornings
Is
and
he-
I nap all day.
Does he like treat you like a queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every girl deserves
Are you
that.
going to expect that now for the future?
Yeah, I don't think he will. He'll follow through, and I think the same thing.
I think that's probably
That's how
been
it
my
works.
issue, Brent, right there.
You don't treat women like queens, JMV. Oh, that's not true.
That's been my massive issue, I think.
Just learning how to be around.
Let me tell you, Josh, continue to do what you're doing right now because you're absolutely dicked if you don't, okay?
Oh.
Just remember that. All right, you guys ready to come back on the other side? JY
Absolutely.
with
We
us
got
as
some
well.
JY stories coming up for Connor. so stick
JY
around.
stories. Alex Golden setting the pace. Pacers a winner last night. Pacers on the road at Miami. Pacers, the 4-hole in the Eastern Conference. How do you stay at that pace? Hey, James, we got tickets to give away right here, too.
We do. We got some Jim Jeffries tickets.
Jim Jeffries coming up on Saturday at Clues. If you want to go see the comedy fair of Jim Jeffries, number 9 at 239-1070. Can go Clues Hall. Butler campus coming up on Saturday. Jim Jeffries, number 9. I believe he's going to join us on the show tomorrow as well. 239-10-7. 93.5, The Fan.
My team's on the floor.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Connor's Pub, everybody. JY's here. Hello, JY. This is a hell of an afternoon right here, buddy.
It's like St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
It'll be a little crazier that day.
That's true.
A little bit.
On a Thursday.
See, Brent, what are you going on vacation for, man?
Hey,
Come on, dude.
I got to play the cards I'm dealt, man.
I know.
You need to cancel
well,
that
at least
trip
it'd be
and
okay
stay
if
here.
you like hold off on vacation.
Yeah,
we do a St. Patrick's
Day. Push
Day.
back on that one a little bit, but yeah, you know.
That's Brent Halverson, Heaven Hill Distillery. You doing well?
Doing great, my friend. Always a pleasure to be here and see this guy right here. And again, I can't wait. There's stories. I've been getting text all day.
Yeah.
Ask JY this. Ask this. Ask this.
Well, ask him one of the texts you got before we get to our
All right,
next
so
interview.
let's see. First one, Todd Hoffman wanted to hear a Tom McNally story. That was his request, so that's number one. Then we got my mentor, one of the greatest guys I look up to in this business that I've been into for a long time now, and a reason, Mr. Pat Hurley. He reached out and he said you got some good stories about a rugby team celebrating in here. Is that something to discuss, or is that for another forum?
They were a colorful lot back in the late 80s, 90s. They had certain customs they would do after a match on a Saturday. Naked surfing in the crowd. They get on the bar. Someone would take their clothes off.
Why is this guy's wiener hanging out right here?
That's a rugby player. He was waiting for the rugby team. They were going to Ireland. That's Shannon's airport in Ireland.
What year is this?
Early 80s.
Okay.
And he was waiting for them to get off the plane. And when they came into the...
Is he cool if you have his wiener like exposed right there?
Well, he's passed away now, so he's got to be cool with it.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of honoring his existence with his wiener showing.
He was a bush pilot in Africa and got malaria.
Oh, wow.
He was an interesting guy.
Hey, Jay, well, I'll be honest with you. I think one of these days, if somebody would honor my existence, they could just show my wiener, too.
He was quite proud of the picture. I mean, he was alive when it was up. It's been up since 1983, 84.
Yeah,
so.
I got you right there. Hey, Brent Halverson, Heaven Hill Distillery's in the house, too.
How are you, my friend?
More wiener stories.
I'm just picturing you in maybe a smaller frame, but, hey, whoa.
You know, I looked at a picture of me 2 years ago. Man, what a fat ass I was.
Dude, you're
I don't think he was referring to your weight.
Oh, you're right.
Well, no, I was. What are you talking about,
Yes,
Lindsay?
you said it.
I was talking about how skinny he is.
You know, Lindsay.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to walk
Here's
myself
what's
out.
funny. People think I'm a creeper. You're like creeping up on me with that comment right there.
I don't know. This picture is just not flattering of this man.
My mom hates
It
it.
might have been cold out.
Yeah, I mean, what did Elaine call it in Seinfeld?
Shrinkage.
Utilitarian. I mean,
Oh.
it's kind of like is that right? It's kind of like you have an off-road Jeep.
He
That's
was
what
quite
it's
proud of
really used
himself,
for.
to be honest. He was,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That takes a confident gentleman.
It does. It really does. And we've got his blessing to get JMV up here. So
I will.
we'll,
I'll just be
photo shoot at
spread
6:05.
eagle right up there one
We
of these
got you.
days, right there.
So
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say you got a quick Tom McNally story for Mr.
Tell.
Hoffman. There's got to be a
Tom
lot.
McNally.
He's been around for a long time.
Tits McNally was my rep from RNDC for 20 years.
The old National Wine and Spirits. Yep.
Awesome. I don't know if you knew this. He bartended back in the Bulldog days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't have any.
You got some claps for that, by the way.
He was very colorful behind the bar. He was a lot of fun to go sit at the bar and watch him do his thing behind the bar.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a particular story.
All right.
But I can just tell you it was a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. I worked with him for many years back in the day. And again, you know, seeing Todd Hoffman and Pat Hurley, the old National Wine and Spirit folk, were some of the best. So always great. You get, I don't know, time-wise, what we're looking at here, John?
I got Alex Golden coming up here, but JJY. Lindsay Monroe, Channel 13. Did you know how cool she was until, like, this moment?
I'm not watching any other station besides Channel 13.
See, there you
That's
go.
what I
Look
love
at
to
that.
hear.
Yeah.
Even at 6 o'clock
She
in the
is such-
morning, we're
she is
getting
so
Just go to bed
wild.
then.
I know. That's what I love to
Check
hear.
the weather.
She hangs with the dudes right there. That's what we look for right here.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Okay, so you said this is not like St. Patrick's Day. I mean, give us a little preview of what's coming up in the next couple weeks.
It'll
Because
get
this
a
is
little
wild
crowded.
for like
It'll
4
get a little
p.m.
crowded. We close at 2 a.m. now, so that helps.
Yes.
At the end of the night, so they got other places they can go at 2. So, but it'll be pretty busy. Obviously, the weather will be a factor, but
Yeah.
Nice
You
one.
can't feel the
Today's
weather
nice
on
weather,
St.
yeah.
Patrick's Day.
it doesn't matter what day it falls on.
Well, they
That's
told
right.
me over here at Fresh Time, inside the Fresh
No.
Time.
No.
Okay. I parked in there.
I'm just going to tell them you're in there shopping right now.
I'm going to go get cottage cheese.
Yeah,
Seriously,
sure.
cottage cheese. They have it in there right there.
would have expected.
You're bringing the vibe down with this cottage
sorry.
cheese right now. We were talking about St. Patrick's Day, doing shots
Lindsay.
of Jameson, and you're talking about cottage cheese.
See, there's a reason why you guys love her right there.
So, speaking of
yes,
St. Patty's Day, anything additional? You just did do some pretty big
We did the
parties
Big
out
Ten
back.
things. COVID kind of deflated that, so to speak. I'm not saying it's done for good, but you may see the 10 again. Not this year, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, one of the greatest places to come to for St. Patrick's Day is Connor's Pub. I mean, I've been here many years back in the day when there were several tents and bands and just the flood of people. Just a great time.
Was this the starter of the legendary McAfee story?
Yes, he was here that night. Left here, and then
he ended up out there.
I don't blame him to want to walk
He
all the way
ended
to
up out there in
college
the
to
water,
go across the
didn't
bridge. He was parked over by the Barple Tavern. And
Has he been here since?
I have not seen him since. I think he's
Really?
ashamed, and that he shouldn't be.
He should not be.
No.
That's legendary.
Actually, I blame the girl
Yeah.
he was with that night. She did not give him a ride home or back, or at least a ride to his car. Left him out there in the
Chicks.
parking lot. So what's a guy to do?
Yeah.
And it was a shortcut.
It's a short swim, too. It's just a
right
little...
across the canal. I can't blame him.
So
Pop
he
up
has
right
not
at
been
flat
here
water
since.
and call it a day.
I'm troubled by that. We should have
I am
asked him
too.
to come today.
I am too. That's why I'm a Bears fan now. I know,
JY Hang, Brent Hang, Lindsay Hang, and on the Indy Automotive Group hotline. He's our good friend Alex Golden has studied the pace. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
You are missing a good time today, Alex, for real.
It sounds like y'all are having fun over there.
No, it is a good time. Hey, I wanted to ask you this. I'd mentioned this before the restart of the season after the All-Star break, that this team needed a huge nap, right? They needed a lot of rest. And obviously we saw Pascal Siakam go to San Francisco for the All-Star break. But in terms of what we have seen from Tyrese Halliburton, he looks rested, energetic, and good to go. And I think the product we've seen from him individually is exactly what is necessary for this team to be as good as it can be. You agree?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, this has been the best version of Tyrese Halliburton we've probably seen all season long. And it's no surprise that it comes off of a break where he's able to go and get some rest and relaxation in Mexico and then come home and have 4 home games in a row. So he doesn't really have to travel a lot, gets to sleep in his own bed, that kind of thing. And so, you know, Tyrese it looks like he's playing with a different mindset right now. It looks like he's playing with a, I got to score first kind of mindset, which is great to see because that's what a lot of people have been asking him to do. And the only game they ended up losing in this 4-game homestand was to the Denver Nuggets, and he scored less than 20 points, which I know he still had 15 assists. Like a really great game. But, when Tyrese is scoring 20 points or more, I think they're now 19-2, something like that. So it's just been a breath of fresh air just to kind of see how impactful Tyrese can be when he's looking for his shot. And he's definitely been doing that and shooting lights out this stretch of the season.
It is so impressive to me that the Pacers have made their way up to 4th in the Eastern Conference. And there are some rivalries that I did not realize were so prolific as, like, the Bucks hate the Pacers. Why do you feel like the Pacers have created such a name for themselves that, like, there are franchises that hate us? Does that mean we're getting good?
I think that's part of it, right? Like, you're getting good, and I think they have a lot of trash talkers on the team. And it's funny because you look at the Pistons rivalry has really kind of started this year as well. There's a chance they could play the Pistons in the first round of the playoffs. And so, the Pacers were kind of this up-and-coming team, and they had that run to the in-season tournament last year, and they beat the Bucks on their way there, and they were talking a lot of trash, and Tyrese was kind of the guy leading the trash talk. And so now that you got James Johnson on the bench as kind of your little enforcer, or I should say big enforcer, these guys just have a ton of more confidence to, go out there and kind of talk smack, and their game is backing it up. Like you said, 4th in the Eastern Conference, like that's no slouch, and the teams above them have been really good this year too. So it's just, this is a team that they're confident, they're young, they're ready to prove to the world that they still, don't get the respect they deserve. And so, yeah, they're not afraid to talk trash. And I think Detroit a little bit was talking more trash than them. Detroit was kind of on like the flip side of how the Pacers were to the Bucks last year. Detroit kind of started talking some smack. And so Indiana just kind of responded and ended up beating them 3-1. And, in the season series. So, yeah, I just think that these rivalries are really healthy, and it's great to see that back. And I think part of the physicality of the league is definitely, they're trying to, initiate more of that rivalry type of basketball that we used to see back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, here's Alex Golden is setting the pace. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Pacers in Miami tomorrow night, 8 o'clock is that tip time. Did you gather, too, the importance of last night's win over Toronto from the head coach, Rick Carlisle, like 23 seconds into a quarter calling a timeout because he didn't like the way things were going? I thought last night you could really tell him coaching up that game, that fourth game of a four-game homestand, as incredibly premium. You agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you cannot take Toronto for granted, right? Like, this is a Toronto team that who's absolutely destroyed the Pacers this year. So if you're not going to play the right way, then Rick Carlisle is going to call it out as soon as he can, because Rick's been coaching a long time. And so when he's getting a feel of how the game is going, those quick timeouts, people are kind of questioning them sometimes, but, like, he's trying to stop something from getting out of hand when he can. So, yeah, I think that you're right on the money there, JMV. Like, Coach Carlisle just has such a great pulse on this team and what they need. So when he calls a timeout like that, I fully trust him to do it, and you fully trust why he's doing it, right? Because you cannot lose these games to Toronto, and especially without Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram. Like, you cannot lose these games, which they've done all season long at times, to teams they should be beating. So, you take care of the Clippers on Sunday, a team that's without Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell, and then you do the same thing on Wednesday night. That's kind of the growth of a team and how they're maturing, I think. And so that's just, Rick Carlisle is kind of helping with that maturation from the young group.
So Alex Golden setting the pace on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So you look ahead to the game in Miami, obviously, and the rest of the season. You would look at in the rearview, Detroit's hard charging right now, too. You think this is a Pacer team that's going to be capable of hanging on to this 4th seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Milwaukee's schedule, it does start to get a little bit tougher here down the stretch, and I think Indiana still has, they still have some road games, but nothing, I don't think, past 8 o'clock start time. So all in that same time zone, which I think matters for traveling. Detroit, they're winning their 7 games in a row right now. I would be kind of shocked if they continue to play at this level for the remainder of the season. So they're kind of hitting their peak right now. I think they'll fall down a little bit. So it'll really come down to, I think Indiana is going to land in that 4 spot, JMV. I would be a little bit surprised if they fall to 5-6, even though it's really close right now. I just think that Indiana's depth and the way they've been kind of playing since the beginning of the year, there's a longer sample size of what they can do. So, yeah, I really believe that this Pacers team probably finishes 4th. I don't see them climbing to 3, but it's possible. I just don't see them passing the Knicks and staying in that 4 spot, getting home court advantage in the first round. And, Milwaukee, Detroit, they'll be right there breathing down their necks. But I think that is going to make it even more important for each game and make each game matter more when there's a team kind of like breathing down your neck. You just got to win every game, and I think that's going to help them stay focused.
That's true. And from a fan standpoint, I'm looking at the starting 5 right now. I mean, you got Benedict Mathurin and Aaron Nesmith kind of competing for that starting role. How do you feel like, depending on who gets the start in any given game, dictates kind of how the game plays out?
Yeah, so there for a while, Mathurin was coming off the bench to start the season. When Nesmith got hurt, they went to Mathurin, and then when Nesmith came back, they kind of kept rolling with Mathurin for a while. But just recently, they've switched it back to Nesmith, and it kind of, to me, it opens up the game more offensively for Tyrese when Mathurin isn't starting, because it kind of forces his hand to be more of a scorer. Because when you have Nesmith and Nembhard out there on the floor together in your 2-3 spot, they're not guys that are actively looking to score. They're guys that are more setup guys and guys Tyrese likes to set up. So this kind of says, all right, Tyrese, we need you to take over the game a little bit more. Where when Mathurin's out there, he kind of has to share the ball a little bit more so Mathurin can get his touches. And then the goal is for when Mathurin does come into the game, he can kind of alleviate some of that pressure off Tyrese and kind of run that second unit with T.J. McConnell. But I do think it's interesting that since he's been put kind of back on the bench, the numbers in terms of field goal attempts haven't been that high in a per-game stand. So I guess the right way to say that is there's been players that have had more shots per game than Mathurin, which that's not necessarily what you were expecting when you see him go to the bench. He's not been shooting the ball particularly well since that change, but Nesmith has really taken a step forward since the All-Star break, and so I think they'll continue to do that. It gives them a little bit more of a defensive presence out there with Nesmith over Mathurin. and I think that it just balances out the scoring in terms of starters and bench. So it does make a lot of sense why they did it, and I think that if it helps elevate Tyrese to the level he's playing at a little bit, I think that's the right move. And then you just really got to see how Pascal Siakam kind of can get back on track in terms of being efficient like he was before the All-Star break, because he is someone that does look a little bit tired still from all the wear and tear he's had on the season, plus the long extended All-Star break.
Hey, Alex, you know how I feel about this, but regarding Miles Turner, have we now absolutely solidified his importance with this team in the present and in the future with his activity? I don't think there's any discussion needs to be had right now about how you can even think about parting ways with what he brings to the table, regardless of what you think. Are we not at that point right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to envision a team that's playing this system without Miles Turner, it is very hard to envision because there is nobody that does what Miles does. And we've talked a lot about, you love the floor spacing with the offense and things like that. And Turner's been shooting the cover off the basketball, and I think that him getting some extended time off with that injury that he suffered before the All-Star break plus the All-Star break, now he looks fresher than he probably has for the last couple of months. So it's great to see him kind of get his feet underneath him and just playing better basketball. But I feel like his defense has taken another level this season. I was a little bit worried that his defense was maybe taking a step back or two the last couple of years. But I'd say the last 2 months, he kind of reminds me of, a guy that we saw 3 or 4 years ago when he was kind of, pushing for the Defensive Player of the Year, like from his vantage point, where he wasn't as offensive-minded, right? So you can just tell, like, when he's effective on the glass, when he's protecting the rim like he is, when he's been able to guard in space like he has at times, whether it's drop coverage, things like that, I think that you're just seeing a much more active defender in Miles Turner, which has just really rounded his game all the way out. So when I look at Miles, I agree with you, JMV. This is a guy that has really blossomed with this system, and Tyrese and Rick, and then adding Pascal has just helped him even more and more get better looks and things like that. So, I tweet it out often throughout the games, but I say don't take Miles Turner for granted because I feel like that is just something that needs to be reminded to fans. It's like, if you don't like the way that he, rebounds the basketball, well, you're just looking at the wrong stat. The way that he impacts the game, and when he's out there versus when he's not out there, this team is significantly better.
Man, people just want to think he's soft, and he's not. I mean, he's absolutely not, and he's as essential piece as anybody on this team. And it should be – people think, well, I mean, you've been really backing him for a long period of time, and certainly I have, but I see what he brings to the table. Alex, when you see him on the bench or not playing, it's a layup line to the rim. And I'm not talking about finishing above the rim. I'm talking about laying it up below the rim. Everything is incredibly easy. This team without him is absolutely nothing. And for those that are still kind of on the fence or even beyond that with believing that you can, go get something else, tell me what that something else is. There is nothing else. He is perfect for the way this team is built, for the way this team plays. They have one essential dude in the low post, and that's Pascal Siakam. You don't need two. I don't know what more anybody needs to know by now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything, it's just old school fans that look at the box score and they see that he only had 6 rebounds in the game and think that he's not playing, with enough force or whatever you want to call it. But I just encourage anybody. I know it's expensive to get tickets down close to the floor, but if you can get on like the main level at a Pacer game and go watch Miles Turner play, the last thing you'll think about him is that he's a soft player, right? This is a guy that is physical every single game, and sure, he might not always choose to be physical every single play, but come on, there's a lot of possessions in an NBA basketball game, and the Pacers are playing, a faster pace. So it's just one of those things where I think fans just want something to gripe about, and they've kind of got the old stigma on them. It's kind of like when you start a season and someone starts off really poorly in the first 10 games, that's what people think about them for the rest of the season when, from games 11 through 50, they could be playing elite level basketball and nobody's really talking about it because they're so, fixated on what they saw in the first 10 games. So, yeah, I just think with Turner, you've been a fan for a very long time of him, JMV. Everybody knows that. I was not. I was a fan that was saying, you got to trade him. There's no way this guy can stick around. He doesn't fit. I was in the same boat as a lot of fans saying, I just think he's kind of soft. I just don't really see it with him. And I've done a complete 180. I think that this is a guy that is so important to the success of this team. And if they don't have him out there, they're an easy first-round playoff exit, and they're probably in a play-in situation without him. That's how much he means to this team.
All right, so you're no longer a dork or a nerd. I've got you right there with me right now. You're somebody that knows.
You sucked me in, JMV. You know, you've been hammering it home on the radio for the past 7-8 years since he's been here, 10 years now. And, you know, it only took me till about year 8 to buy into it, but I'm here finally, so.
I always found it funny because I think people that reference him as soft are the softest of the soft. I mean, I'm talking about big wussies right here. And I'm thinking, all right, you big wussies have no room to call anybody soft. And I've always felt that way. And to me, for the way this team is put together, he's an essential piece. And I will say this, Alex, I mean, they're going to have to work a little bit to make sure that he fits. But you can't afford to let him go coming up this offseason. I mean, that's, again, going to be an essential piece that needs to be with his team as it continues to grow.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that the Pacers, if they are worried about the money situation, right, I don't really know what Miles is going to expect money-wise, but I pretty much feel like whatever they can come to an agreement-wise, if they have to move off of somebody else on the roster to keep Miles, that's one of those decisions you're just going to have to make. And I know that there's a lot of good players that you might have to get rid of, or at least one or two that you might have to get rid of just to keep Turner and feel good about your financial situation. But at this point, I just think Turner is too imperative to this team to just really let him walk. And now you're trying to, patch that center hole with, guys like Thomas Bryant, Isaiah Jackson, which, that to me just does not seem like a long-term solution. So you got to bring Miles back, and I think that fans will appreciate it once they see another playoff run with this Pacers team and just how important Miles is.
Yeah, maintain the 4-hole and see what happens. Alex Golden is setting the pace. Who's your latest interview, buddy?
Latest interview. I was not on the podcast last night, but my co-host interviewed Mark Monteith after the game and did a recap there, so that was a fun one. And I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but Derek Schultz did an interview with me for the Indianapolis Business Journal. And so I was able to kind of tell the origin story of setting the pace in the Indianapolis Business Journal, and then he sent me over the audio file, so I have that on our podcast feed as well. It's about a 30-minute conversation where, I was the interview, he and Derek was the interviewer, and kind of talked about how the whole entire show's grown the past 6.5 years. So it was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate Derek for giving me that platform to kind of tell the story.
Well, you know this. If you need somebody at 2 in the morning on a Monday night, I'm your man. You know that.
I know that.
It just kind of seems like that's my time slot right there.
I'll be up too, but for different reasons.
Hey,
I'll be actually at
I
work.
will say this. Hey, Alex, Lindsay's sitting next to me right now. Have Lindsay on the show sometime. Yeah, she's good.
If you're up at 2 a.m. doing a show, I'm in.
All right, you got to bring the cottage cheese, though.
I'm going to mix a little ranch dip in, make it a little interesting.
All right, brother. I appreciate you more than you know.
All right, JMV. Thank you guys so much.
Alex Golden setting the pace. Cotter's Pub at Tavern Tourist Stop. JY is here. Well done, man. This is just kind of normal Thursday right here, right?
Yeah. Thinking about Miles, Peter Dinwiddie would have traded for him in a heartbeat.
Well,
former rugby player Peter Dinwiddie. If you didn't know that.
He worked. Did he work here?
He worked. We worked together different nights before I owned it. So he worked like Tuesday, Wednesday nights. I worked the weekends. I always had a full-time job.
I call Pete Dinwiddie the man with two brains because he's really smart.
He is very smart.
Yeah. He's with the Philadelphia 76ers organization right now. He used to be with the Pacers, but has been on the fast track of maybe at some point being, running an organization. Right now, I mean, there's like 3 or 4 different dudes. I think Elton Brand and Daryl Morey run the Sixers along with P, but he's right
picking
there.
the brains of a lot of different executives, and I fully expect him to be a GM in the near future.
He used to talk about this place all the time. JY, come back with you, right?
Yes.
Brent's back. Lindsay's going to hang. I'm John. Thank you for joining us, Connor's Pub. This is a Tavern Tour Stop, month of February. Thank you all for joining us. Quick break. We'll come back to Broad Ripple at Connor's Pub next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
What I say when it comes to this basketball team is the law. Absolutely and without discussion.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
And R.I.P. to Gene Hackman, the actor, who passed away along with his wife and their pet, their dog, overnight too. What I believe is carbon monoxide poisoning. Is that what they're suggesting, Brent Holmgren?
That's what I heard. I mean, that's it's scary. You know, like
that's a bummer.
The
Yeah.
silence. It's silent and.
Was he 93? Is that how old?
95, I thought I saw.
95, was he?
Yeah.
I think you're right. That's Lindsay Monroe right there, Channel 13, Brent Holverson, Heaven Hill Distillery, and JY is here of Connor's Pub. Legendary Connor's Pub.
Thanks for having us, man.
This is like your average.
awesome.
Is this your average Thursday afternoon in this place right here?
Not quite as busy, but we got a good, loyal following after work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
Normally, like you just got people that have been here for years.
Been here for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you need right here.
They get mad. They say, I'm never coming back. We just laugh.
We
know they're going to be back.
We brought the thunder for you today, though, haven't we?
You have a great following. It's a cult.
They are great people here.
It is great. I just walked back to the bathroom, and it's like a who's who back there. You know, it's awesome.
That's
I
right.
love seeing that.
Well, Ross from Plainfield brought you. Tell everybody what he brought you for your birthday.
I've never seen that print before. He brought me a print of Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
Which you know, to me is that's my guy, right? And I've never seen it. It's outstanding. And Romy took it out to my car for me. Thank God. It is unbelievable. That's just awesome. I got chills when he gave it to me, and even thinking about it right now, it's just.
There's Ross from Plainfield.
Ross
right
from Plainfield. They're awesome people. Everybody that's in here. I mean, we get the pleasure of seeing quite a few of these come out every week. You know, every time we have a show. So it's always a pleasure to see them, especially at a place like this.
Well, I will tell you, JY, people have hard targeted this event for us for a while, though. So it's been
I'm included in that.
And
I said, we're going to Connor's.
And you're
No
Channel
way I'm
13 and nothing else.
I'm just impressed with her sports knowledge.
She's a good girl.
I do some research, so I totally don't embarrass
She didn't
myself.
mispronounce any of the names. Not a Harry Carey at all. It's awesome.
When the Princess of Ice Cream, Gina Glaros, is here, she didn't know a damn thing. But Lindsay does.
Oh, prom dress.
Yeah. Prom dress. Prom dress. Hey, by the way, somebody had asked, Lindsay, where is prom dress today? What's happening?
At 5 o'clock, so for the past 30 so minutes or so, she has been actually training people to scoop ice cream.
Is there a lot that goes into
pull
that?
the lever.
I mean, you have to
I've actually
technique.
So like back in the day, I used to be a server. So like I know how to like serve a beer. I know how to do all that. I've never done the ice cream part of it, so I'm not quite sure if it's scooping or like the handle pulling, or just the interacting with customers that she's doing. But that's where she said she was tonight. So, but she said she was very excited about joining us again here soon.
No, is it? I'm tomorrow. Is she coming out tomorrow?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, we got the big gala on Saturday.
Are you going to Demar? Yeah.
I'm going to the. Are you going?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were sending dress options to each other. There's 3 couples going. So
Dana
we were
Carvey and David
sending-
Spade with Saturday
Oh
Night
my
Live. I
God.
cannot wait. That's going to be
It's going
outstanding.
to be amazing. I
Are
wish you
going
could
too?
come.
Yeah.
I wish you
God,
could
my,
come,
my
JMV.
ass is the only one not going.
Well, you're going to be doing
We
a
have
big
a seat.
show.
Big show.
Big show.
No.
JMV takeover.
That's right.
Well, you could maybe like do your takeover and then like slip in and then slip out.
Where is that? The Marriott?
That is
Yeah.
JW Marriott.
Yep.
Wow.
We
That's
hired
on
a driver
Saturday.
and
Our
everything.
great-
I mean, we're going all out.
Our great friend Sean Collinsworth is,
Yes.
is part of that, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a good
Yeah,
time.
Chuck Lofton is going to be emceeing it. So
Is he really?
he's been a part of Daymar for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah, long time supporter. And
So
vice
who's the
versa.
headliner, Spade or Carvey?
Both. It's
Really?
a duel.
Who's going to go first? Or they're going at
I
the
think
same
it's
time?
a duel. It's a duel for like an hour and a half or so. Yeah. It's going to be just class. I love those guys.
And then
I mean,
bring David Spade back here, JY. What do you think?
Well, I think you outdraw David Spade, so.
Oh,
I got you guys some snacks.
man, that is awesome right there. Hey, JY, tell everybody about the place, not just on a Thursday, on a Friday, on the weekend as well. Connor's Pub here in Broad Ripple.
Busy all the time. Open from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. Drinks are cheap. Never have specials because they're already cheap.
Yeah.
Kitchen's always open.
1979, correct? Is when you cracked it open?
I didn't.
You did not.
I wasn't 21 yet.
How old were you in 1979, JY?
Still in high school.
Okay.
Thinking about going to the bars.
I'm a little bit younger than you. I was 9 years old in 79.
I was 5.
Class of 80, Cathedral.
Oh, you were class of 80. Good for you, man.
Yes.
Who, okay, hold on. Class of 80, Cathedral. When was Scott Hicks?
He was 83.
Okay, so a little bit younger.
I remember him. Oh, yeah.
Ken Barlow, Scott Hicks, same grade.
83. They have a teammate here, Jeff Moe, in the house, too.
Where is Jeff? I was going to talk to Jeff. Like Jeff Moe of Iowa?
Jeff Moe of Iowa.
Yes.
Jeff Moe, the Iowa Hawkeye from Brebeuf?
the Iowa Hawkeye.
Where is he right here?
I wanted to see him. Transferring from Cathedral to Brebeuf.
I didn't know that he transferred from Cathedral to
Yes.
Brebeuf. He was kind of a hard ass back in the day, wasn't he?
They had it. Red Taylor was kind of the assistant coach at Cathedral then. Municipal Gardens, AAU ball, all those guys. Barlow, Hicks, Moe, handful of other ones.
He played for Dr. Tom Davis.
Yes.
At Iowa.
B.J. Armstrong.
And B.J. Armstrong did. Who else was that? Ed Horton. Was Ed Horton a part of that team?
I think you're right.
Was how about Al? Was Al Lorenzen on that team too?
He was right around there.
You know what his nickname was? The Vanilla Gorilla.
Good memory.
The Vanilla Gorilla, Al Lorenzen. No, that was a good squad. Where is he? Bring him over here.
Let me grab him.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Jeff Moe. Jeff Moe, I remember because Iowa's team in 87 when IU won the national title last in 1987. You know, they were a team. Did they lose to UNLV, I think, in the tournament? I want to say back in 87.
Was B.J. Armstrong?
He's a Jordan teammate with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was trying to put timelines there. Yeah, that's wild.
So Jeff Moe's here right now?
He's here.
I don't know when's the last time I talked to Jeff Moe, but, man, he was spectacular in high school and in college.
Well, Dick Vitale used to call him, what did he say? He was, he had a term that I can't remember what it was now, but, yeah. Pretty cool. I mean, who will you see here, right? There's like the list of who's who at Connor's Pub.
That's very true. Now, we've got another Tavern Tour stop for March, so we're going to announce that a little bit later on.
Ooh, where are we going?
We are. Should we bring it out of let the cat out of the bag just because we might get it? So.
Oh, we took off.
Right on.
That's
for the Tavern Tour for next month in March.
Yeah.
It's going to be a kind of a special one because it's going to be on opening day of Major League Baseball. So we are going to be back at our spot that we've done the last 6 years.
Joe's Grill
in Castleton. It's the best place to watch opening day Major League Baseball, and it is going to be a Tavern Tour opening day kickoff. So we'll see Mr. Nally and the gang over at Joe's Grill in Castleton.
How is our guy Niles doing?
He's doing great, man. He's doing really good. He's actually on a little cleansing diet thing right now.
Is
so he's
he
not
really?
been drinking a whole lot. So March 27th, we will be at Joe's Grill in
Putting that in
Castleton.
my calendar right now.
That is a do not miss. And you will see, John, you can attest to it.
Yeah.
You will see every team represented there. They have, they bring out the hot dogs and Cracker Jacks and Slim Jims and all the fun stuff that you'd get at the ballpark. We'll be able to watch the Reds play, hopefully get another.
How many years have we done opening day at Joe's Grill?
I think it's 6 there. I think it's 6 years. So, yeah, we'll be up there, kick off the Major League Baseball, which I'm excited about. I love baseball. I absolutely love it. Hopefully one of these years our Reds can get back on track and do something just like we did in 1990. We swept the A's in the World Series.
In spring training, L.A. De La Cruz is raking
He's
right
a
now.
stud, man.
Seriously, he and McLean, these guys are crushing the baseball right now. I don't know if that's going to translate into the regular season, but as of right now,
the new Mets player. The one they signed for all that money.
Juan Soto.
Woo! Cranking it already in spring training.
You're not a Reds person? You're from
I'm a Reds person.
Okay, good. Good for you.
It's kind of hard, but that's how I was raised.
It's kind of hard. It's tough.
I still root for them.
Opening day is awesome, right? So
love opening day because a fresh slate.
Yeah, it's a fresh slate.
Yep.
Hopefully we can carry it a little further than we have in the past.
So Brent Holverson, Heaven Hill Distillery coming up next month in March. We're going to be at Joe's Grill in Castleton for the opening of the baseball season. You work tomorrow, Linz?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
Good for you.
I'm back Saturday, but.
So nobody's coming. I'm at Tom's Wash Bar tomorrow. Anybody coming? No? No you? No?
I've got to go to the comedian.
Oh, yeah, you got the comedian guy tomorrow. Tom Segura, is that who you got tomorrow?
Yeah, Tom Segura.
All right, and you're probably. Hey, by the way, I know we got to hit a break,
Go ahead.
but we're going to have a party at Brown County.
Terrapin Station Retreat. We'll maybe
Is that true?
We'll maybe get a little Kristen Webb to tie something around the Brown County Music Center.
Man.
Maybe do a show down there for the Music Center, and then we'll kind of pull it back to the.
What were you
Terrapin
thinking
Station
about doing?
Retreat.
I was down there on Friday. I saw Howard Jones and ABC and Richard Blade together on Friday. Great time.
I tell you, we need to look because they've got their schedule of who they're bringing in is outstanding.
ZZ
So
Top in April, I think, is one.
that would be something to look at.
Who
right?
else is there? Was it Sarah that mentioned Jason Isbell? Is
Yes,
that the guy that's down
that
there
is
too?
that's in April as well. I think that is.
I think she's the one that mentioned we're going to have a party there in April. Is that unbeknownst to you?
It is right now,
Yeah,
but
okay.
hey, we can make some stuff
Well, I
happen.
would love to do a show and then have a party with the show at Terrapin Station.
I think it'd be outstanding. And, I was talking with Christian today a little bit, too. He's just such a great dude, man. I can't say enough about that guy. He's down there. He's got 3 shows in a row tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So, but we'll have to look at that schedule and see what we got coming up, John. I think it'd be a great spot to do a little show down there and have a little fun. Yeah. Ooh, what's
Pass
this?
out right there, Terrapin Station.
What about this Get the Lead Out? Led Zeppelin cover band on July 18th. I mean, that's right up my alley, bro.
I love being down there with Howard Jones. My friend, like all my friends from Columbus, I went to Indiana State with were there too. It was a good time. But no, we always mention with Christian, that's a great venue at Brown County Music Center.
It really is.
Yeah.
2,000 people. There's not a seat further than 100 feet away.
Right.
109 feet, I think, is what it is. And the sound is outstanding, right? I mean,
is.
We're just there. I mean, the sound's wonderful. You're just right there, man. It's an intimate night. I'm really bummed because we're going to be on spring break, but Trey Anastasio from Fish is going to be down there in March 16th. So
Well, we're not going to be doing.
You're missing everything
I
that
know,
week.
it's
That was a horrible week to
It
book a
really
trip.
is. I got to talk to the school personnel.
Like St. Patrick's Day's on a Monday, though. We can still throw it
17th.
out like we did, right? Is that on a Monday this year?
It's
I mean,
a
you're going to
Monday.
be on vacation.
And then Thursday is the start of March Madness, like the main
my goodness.
matchups.
Ooh, here's one. Great White Slaughter. Look at that. March 21st.
Mark Slaughter. Hey, James, can you play Fly to the Angels back
Ooh,
as a
that's a
re-entry
great
right
one
there?
right
That's
there
a
by Slaughter.
power ballad classic from Slaughter right there.
Fly.
To the Angels. Lindsay and my man Brent Holverson, and I'm John. Carl's birthday's our engineer right here. We're at Connor's Pub. We're in Broad Ripple. It is a Heaven Hill Distillery Tavern tour stop. We'll come back for a final time on the other side. Tickets to win as well. Don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Happy 40th.
It is. I am attracted to basketball dudes.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, that's nice right there. Thank you, James, back in the studio. Dropkick Murphys. And Bad Religion, number 9 at 239-1070. This is Slaughter
This
right
is
here.
Slaughter, March 21st at Brown County Music Center. This
is a hell of a
Slaughter.
Hey, James, can you crank this for us?
Yeah.
This is a good power ballad right here, though.
It really is. And you know who's opened up? Great White.
Yeah.
Great White.
You remember Up All Night, Sleep All Day?
Sleep all day, man. Absolutely.
Slaughter.
This was in my wheelhouse right here, John.
Mark Slaughter, the leader of the band Slaughter. So, yeah. Hey, by the way, Dropkick Murphys and Bad Religion, that's Everwise, coming up this summer, number 9 at 239-1070. We'll go to that. That's Brent Holverson. That's Lindsay Monroe. I'm JMV. Happy birthday to Carl, our engineer. Carl,
Happy
are you
birthday,
55
Carl.
today? Are you 55?
40. He's 40.
You look a lot older than I do. You know what? We're both the same age. Why do you look older?
I have more stress.
You do work with Tony Katz. Is he a pain in the ass?
No.
Is he not? He wears a scarf in the summer.
It's called fashion. Look it up.
JY is here of Connor's Pub, too, man. Thank you for having us today,
No,
brother.
thank you.
I hope you're having a good time over there.
Great time.
Jeff Moe left.
He did.
I was going to ask him about Dr. Tom Davis and coaching that. They lost to UNLV, I believe, right before IU beat UNLV in the Final Four in '87.
Your memory serves you well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. How long have you known Jeff?
I was a senior. He was a freshman at Cathedral.
Was he?
Yeah. So I knew him since.
How many points did he score in high school? Do we know?
Not sure.
Well,
When he went to Brebeuf, he really took off as far as scoring.
No, he was definitely a good player. Though.
Yeah.
He was kind of hard. He was a hardcore dude, too.
Oh, yeah.
Back then. No doubt about that. Hey, Lindsay, you don't work tomorrow. You work this weekend, though?
Working this weekend, and we're going to be running some 40-yard dashes, getting ready for the big.
Are you going to be doing that?
Well, they asked me to, so we'll see about
Why
it.
don't you do it?
Yeah, I'm going to go out there on Saturday, I think, and run it. I think I'm going to get like right at 5 seconds.
Really?
You might get signed.
I don't know. I don't know what's good. I know good is like 4.
What about you, Brent?
I'm a 4.40.
4.43.
Next up.
Next up, we are at Joe's Grill in Castleton for opening day Major League Baseball, March 27th, Thursday. It's our Thursday we do every month for the Tavern Tour. Joe's Grill, Castleton, Mr. Nally and the crew, and JY. Thank you for a great time today, man.
Thank
for
you.
having
This
us
has
here,
been
bro.
amazing.
Appreciate
I love it here.
I appreciate it. Thank
You
you.
guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
JY, Connor's Pub, everybody that came out. Brent, good to see you, D. Lindsay, thank you very much.
Love it to
Tell
be
the
here.
Princess of Ice Cream she missed out today.
She
big
did,
time, okay?
big time.
Tom's Watch Bar tomorrow, and David Anspaugh, the director of Hoosiers, joins us among others tomorrow. Downtown during the Combine after 3. James, great job. Happy birthday
Happy
to Carl.
birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
93.5, 107.5 The Fan.